Hello everyone, and welcome back to Curse of Strahd, Twice Bitten, the show where 5 DMs take on D&D's top Gothic horror campaign. As always, I am Dragnacarta, your host and DM, and we are going to dive right in this week, right back into Barovia. Stick around, because I think things are getting a little bit dicey in the Amber Temple. Kaya, how are you feeling?
And that's what we hear from Lillison.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right.
There's like a gentle sizzle, but that about it.
Beautiful.
Did something burn something?
It's like, am I having a stroke? Does anyone else smell toast?
It smells like burnt hair.
Oh, well, we'll see how difficult it is to get that scent out of the carpeting, or whatever the Amber Temple has for flooring materials, as soon as we dive into this week's episode of Twice Bitten. And welcome back, everyone. So, last we left off on Curse of Strahd, Twice Bitten. Our unlikely heroes had made their way to the Amber Temple, a haven, a repository of forbidden knowledge, close to the peak of Mount Gakis. There, following the lead of the Dusk Elf Casimir as he guided them toward what he promised may hold secrets of Strahd's descent into darkness and the power he holds, as well as the secret and key to unlocking Casimir's own means of resurrecting his deceased sister Petrina. The party made their way into the temple, past its initial guardians, and defeating a trio of flame skulls that obstructed the path into the temple beyond. Lillison clearing the path forward in the form of a polymorphed blood bramble beast, the party soon came into conflict with the guardian of the temple that dwelled within a great statue of a mysterious god of secrets that dwelled within the temple's main floor. As they spent the night outside amidst the snow-covered tundra on the mountainside, the following morning they returned, preparing themselves to delve deeper and deeper into the temple. As they descended an additional set of stairs, now accompanied by Amity's new undead friend, affectionately named Muppet for Meat Puppet, a very helpful detector of traps and sundries, the group found a strange amber vault full of 3 sarcophagi of amber, within which seemed to dwell some unearthly entities of some strange power, promising to Kiva, who approached them, gifts. Though, as Kiva seemed to sense, perhaps these gifts may not entirely be without strings attached. The party continued their exploration, seeing whether more of these strange vaults might linger, perhaps one of them containing the secrets to Strahd's darkness, or the source of Casimir's hoped-for magic. As they did so, they saw and heard another entrant to the temple, Rahadin, Strahd's chamberlain and right-hand man. At Casimir's identification of the new arrival, Erthrandir, surging with righteous fury and vengeance for the plight of the Dusk Elves, rushed in, followed by Kiva and Esmeralda and the rest following in pursuit. However, as Rahadin made a tactful retreat, joined by a trio of Barovian witches that had been evidently lurking in one of the dark corners of the temple's lower floors, Lilith, Kiva, and several others were left astray in the temple floor, evidently long enough for the temple's guardian to reawaken and strike. First with a chain of spitting lightning, and then, as the group of them just barely failed to escape the guardian's vision, a massive gout of flame that burned Lilith to death. Through fury and pain and despair, the group thrust forward, doing battle with Rahadin, until finally, as Esmeralda held him tight and Erthrandir ready to final blow, Kiva struck Rahadin's head from his shoulders. And so, we return to our party, lingering on the lower floor of the Amber Temple. And so, we find our companions in the southeastern section of the Amber Temple, far from their traveling companions who had accompanied them to this isolated spot. You watch, staring, as abruptly the massive bird-like creature that had flew into this chamber from the exterior whirls in a blaze of green magic and unfurls itself, revealing in its place the familiar visage of your ally and companion, Casimir. He drops to the ground on one knee, looking shocked and astounded, staring between Lilith's body and Rahadin's corpse lying on the floor. There's a beat of silence as Lilith's body lies in Metron's arms, and then you hear a quiet croak as a small green toad hops from Rahadin's split-open throat and onto the floor.
So Kiva is going to see that and immediately throw up behind her. And then because she's like sort of half collapsed on the ground, she's just going to begin the process of slowly dragging her bleeding out body over to Metron and Lillison, crawling like a slug, leaving a trail of blood.
Reattach the head! Amity is clearly disgusted, but she's still forwardly trying to roll Rahadin's head back to his body.
Erthrandir looks back at her, his hands shaking. What the fuck are you talking about?
I have plans for his dead body.
Amity, Lillison's dead! Do you think that perhaps there's a better And then, as he says this, the haste animating him wears off, and he crumples like a sack of bricks onto the floor.
Oh.
Yeah! This Aerith pulls himself vaguely upright, joining the rest by Lilson, as he just crawls forward. No. Okay, so it doesn't look terrible. I mean, she's charred. There's a lot of skin burnt, but that's okay. That's manageable. That's we can work with that. We can work.
Messenger, for the love of God, right now we don't need to talk. We have the scroll. We'll just bring her back.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. Wait.
the scroll.
Wait.
Yeah. And I start to pull off my sack and awkwardly keeping Lillison's probably still smoking body in my arm. Start to, with the other hand, reach through and rifle through the stack until I find the black papered scroll. Yeah, just do it, right?
Wait, we're not safe. That thing could come here at any moment and finish us off. We need to find somewhere safe.
I'm not going back out there.
I know.
We stay here and we do this right while we can.
Yeah. I'm saying we do this in somewhere we can put a door between us and a potential fireball. Just give me a second.
Metron turns and looks and notices that there's actually a door on the wall that he's sitting against. Have we checked that door, though?
There are a number of doors all around you, and in fact, as you kind of sit there in the corner, you can see the walls all around you, sheathed in amber, kind of glimmering very faintly in the light of the sun sword. There are two, one to your immediate left to the south, and one to your immediate right to the east, and there seem to be two other doors further north up the hall, back toward the corridor from which you came.
Yeah, I was referring to the one to the south.
Kiva, if you point that out, can go, use you as a fucking stool to get up and then go over and open it.
As you touch his shoulder to kind of hoist yourself up, you get... Are you shitting me? 5 points of healing.
She's slightly less bleeding out.
Yeah, no, that's terrible. I got a 1 and a 4.
All right. She will. She's gonna go over, sort of press her ear to the door, see if she can hear anything, and then if she doesn't, she's gonna open it.
Sure, make a perception check.
Uh, 15.
Seems quiet. You don't hear anything from the other side.
All right. I hope this doesn't kill us. Is it locked? It did a thing.
As you try to open the door, it does in fact remain stuck fast, and as you tug on it, you see shimmering into existence once more a familiar set of crackling, bluish arcane chains tinged with sickly-looking black veins, crisscrossing the entrance.
Get away from it.
Oh, okay.
Kiva looks angry as shit and, kicks the door a few times.
Kiva, I can get rid of it. Give me a second. I've got a little bit of magic left. As he staggers forward, pressing is sort of bear-like moving incredibly slowly, and makes the motions for dispel magic as he taps on it.
All right. And with that, the magic is indeed dispelled, wisping away into a silent gray mist.
Kiva
All
just
right.
waves Erthrindir back, holds up the sun sword, and then does the sort of tactical door open move where you stand up against the side and open it with your hand.
All right, as you do, moving closer, Esmeralda taps a finger on your shoulder. Wait, one moment. Before we go anywhere, what are we going to do with our friends on the other side of the temple?
Can when you just send something like a message, and then Metron, realizing who usually does that, is now in his arm. Immediately, his expression sinks, and he just pulls Lillison closer into his lap.
Kiva, upon realizing that Irina is not there, it looks like she's about to sprint across the hall and get her.
Amdi,
I'm saying
do
that
you have
if
any
anyone
spells
wants to
left?
stop.
I do. Not a ton. How's reattaching the head going?
Well, what are you reattaching with?
Wow, that's an interesting question. I don't know how to answer this question. Some cloth?
Do you have
Or
a
what?
green ribbon?
Yeah, a yellow ribbon.
Zach,
That would be
I
perfect.
I love you.
A yellow ribbon, you get the sense, would probably not do the job. You're going to need to actually kind of suture, sew these together.
Is this something that I would be... I guess Out of character, I don't really understand this medically well enough to offer a solution.
I mean,
do I have
if
any
you-
sense?
For the purpose of what you're looking for, you would need someone with some kind of sewing expertise to do it for you. I believe you do know someone capable, but she's currently dead.
Thanks, Strahd.
Lol.
This is a reminder. I wasn't sure about that.
You do
Irina
know someone
can.
with a mending spell, theoretically.
And he is currently an object, so if you want to cast Mending on him, you're welcome to.
Oh, that works too.
Wait, is that how it works? Am I also an object?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's how I got you over here.
Oh, this is
God, I
awesome.
love that.
We've
You've
objectified
always wanted to
Kaya.
be an object.
I'm used to it.
Oh.
Oh, Tyrael.
Does anyone have? Okay. Does anyone? Can anyone? I guess. Does anyone have mending?
Earthwindir looks back at her with an expression, like, not even disappointed, just sort of dead. Are you
Nope, not two of those.
really doing this right now?
Amity nods like pretty fervently.
What is the
Blood's coming out.
what's the urgency here, love? Really?
The blood
That we
is.
might get fireballed. It is not that hard to figure out. If that thing wants us dead, then it can start taking pot shots in here until we are very crispy.
But what are you trying to do, love?
I'm trying to put it back together.
No, that's not what I'm asking. What are you trying to do with him once you put his head back on?
Questioning.
Questioning. Do you need his head back on for that? I mean, you got the
Yes.
head.
Speak with Dead works with pieces of a body too, though, doesn't it?
I'm not talking about Speak with Dead. It's complicated. I don't exactly know what to name it. But currently the blood's going from in here to over there. So if we could just
Then drag him with you. If you wanna spend your time suturing the genocidal murderer's head back on after that, you're welcome.
I'm not going anywhere without Irina.
You
She's
can't-
safer. We can't get to her, and she can't get to us.
Oi, Kez, you.
He looks up. Yes,
Turn into
what
one
is
of
it?
those fucking bird things and get them out of here. Go back on
Ah.
the other side and get them out of here.
What is it? Whatever's in there. I don't know if I can go fast enough. I could try to shield myself in the same sort of thing that I turned Lillison
Don't you
into,
have one of
but
those
Make yourself go
teleportation
fast
things,
enough.
too?
Y'all,
do we not have any
a
means
spell-
of?
We have a spell that communicates elf of long distances. Just let Amity tell them to go outside. Please.
Fine. Okay. Amity cast sending.
All right, who are you
and-
targeting?
Irina.
All right, you feel the sending connect.
We're safe for now. You should all be safe over there. Don't follow us. Get back out of the temple.
There's a very immediate response from Irina. Got it. We heard some noise out there, but glad to hear everything is fine. We'll see you outside.
Amity nods to her companions. They're retracing the way out of the temple. They'll be fine.
Thank you.
All right. With that, Key was going to go back to getting that door open if the spell is done.
Okay. In that case, and with that case, you turn back toward the door. It is in fact unlocked, and kind of doing that, Black Ops kind of, Navy SEAL sort of door open, slowly pushing it open with the sun sword glimmering faintly on the walls. Let me just find the right thing here. There we go. Okay. You push forward. The amber door slowly creaking open with the weight of ages against it, no longer sealed shut by the arcane lock that Earthrealm had dispelled. Peering inside, you see that this room has walls of glazed amber, a floor of red marble, and a rough-hewn shaft in the center of its 10-foot-high ceiling. 3 amber sarcophagi stand in alcoves, and above each sarcophagus floats a human skull wreathed in green flame. They immediately turn to face you.
Oh, fucking Christ.
I'm gonna need everyone to roll initiative, please.
Woo!
Damn it!
I love this. I love this for
We're the
us.
best around. Okay, they got a 9. That's good.
I truly hope this kills Kiva. This is what she deserves.
I assume that when you say everybody rolls, you don't actually mean everybody rolls.
No.
Let's go, corpse!
Dead company excluded.
Corpse turn. Corpse turn.
Corpse turn. Corpse turn. Corpse
I mean, does she have to
turn.
make death saves though?
No, she's already
Choose an
dead.
object.
Oh yeah, you're right. I forgot.
Objects fail dex saves.
Oh yeah, am I an unattended
That
object?
Chaka, please.
You are an unattended object.
Well, I mean, sort of.
She's very attended. There is a lot of love happening.
Yeah, like I'm
now.
literally
How dare
holding
you.
her right now. So
Oh, I love a high roll. Delicious.
All right. Well, with that, Kiva, I believe you first go. You just opened a door and there are a bunch of flame skulls glaring back at you. What would you like to do?
Okay, let's see here. She is going to let's try this. She is going to scream and use her channel divinity, turn the unholy.
Oh, shit.
Oh
and
shit!
it sort of like bursts off of her like a fucking black canary sound barrier wave. She's just so fucking tired. So she's gonna do that.
Okay, what, that's wisdom saves from all of them?
Yes. I don't know what the fail thing is though. So
That's your spellcasting DC.
oh, okay, hold on, let me find that. I think it's really low. It's very low.
Is it above a 10?
Yes.
They all fail.
12. Oh my god, I love
That's a
Wow.
10, a 9, and a 2.
I love that for me. So, they're all going to try to move as far away from me as they can, and they can't willingly move to a space within 30 feet of me or take reactions, and it can only take the dash action or fuck off. So that's what they can do.
Okay, you watch as immediately, in response to this, you see as this surge of silvery gold radiant energy sweeping out forth from her. The skulls immediately, their eyes go wide, the flickers in their empty sockets paling as the flames around them are suddenly wreathed with black and white threads of terror. They have to use their reactions, is that correct?
They can't use reactions.
They cannot use reactions. Okay.
But they have to use their
And
turns to dash.
They have to use their turn to move away from me.
Okay, good to know. All right. That is the. Is that the end of your turn? Anything else you'd like to do?
She is going to, when she's done, bonus action rage, and then
Love it.
she's going to like collapse against the door jamb, holding up the sun sword, like just sort of trying to keep herself upright until the sort of adrenaline kicks in from the rage. And I guess stand in the doorway, because that way they keep moving away from her and away from everyone else by virtue of the thing.
All right, sounds like a plan. Oh, actually, just a quick thing. Just checking in a rules thing before Metron takes his turn. According to Turn the Unholy, the creature cannot willingly move to a space within 30 feet of you. Now, I believe these creatures are currently within 30 feet of you.
So the only action they could take is the dodge action.
Correct, unless Kiva wants to move away.
Or they take damage.
They do not
I
take
mean-
damage.
No, I mean,
Oh, yes.
They don't like move through walls.
You've not seen them do so. If you think Kiva would expect them to, that's fine, but they
Yeah,
cannot
I mean,
actually
she doesn't-
move
she
within
doesn't
30
know-
feet of you.
Yeah, she doesn't know that they're not like ghosts. Like,
Well, no,
ghosts
even if they were
are
ghosts, they
different
still
from
would not be
people.
able to move, because they'd be within 30 feet of you.
Oh, I figured
I
she would like move,
believe.
they would move through the walls backwards, away from
they
her.
can't
That's what I
they can't
thought.
choose to get closer to her.
Yeah, they just
All right.
closer.
Got it. Okay, sounds good. All right, Metreon is up then. Please excuse the brief rules detour.
Yeah. Shit. So, seeing Kiva standing in there, Metron just has this freak out moment of realizing how close to death she is, and with with Lillison under one arm, he's going to go ahead and move up, and he's going to reach out and yank on Kiva's arm. Come on. And I'm going to try with her if she wants to pull her out.
Any resistance from Kiva?
Is there like a free action like talk that?
Oh yeah, if
she
you want to
or
respond,
something?
you absolutely can.
Yeah, she just look at Metron and she's just gonna go. They're not gonna come any closer to me. So if I stand here, they won't come any closer to you.
Just
Maybe
come
you
out.
can
Then
get
shut the
through.
door. They don't move through doors. They don't have arms.
Are you sure?
I don't know, but they ain't got hands.
You hear over your shoulder from Casimir, they're corporeal. The skulls, they can't pass through walls.
All right, drag her out of there.
So I'm yanking her out, and then as a free action, I'm going to shut the door once she is out.
I would say it is your environmental interaction to pull her back. Well, unless you want to use your action to do that, that'd be fine too.
So can I do that both in the same turn? Yank her out, and then shut
Yeah,
the door?
I would say use your action to yank her out and then shut the door with your environmental. That's fine.
Yes, I'll do that then.
All right, the door is slammed.
And then I'm going to use the rest of my movement to get back into the corner with Lillison. Actually, closer to this alcove over here.
All right. There is a moment of quiet for a brief instance, and then Casimir looks around at the others. Right, doors closed. They're looking to get away, right? Should we hide somewhere?
How do we get out without crossing that fucking statue again?
That in there was something in the ceiling. I saw it for a minute. A hole.
In that room that we just closed?
Yeah, I think so.
Are you nuts?
They're scared of you, right? For like
I
a
don't know
minute.
for how long, or if once they stop looking at me, if it goes away.
Okay, then let's do that. We get in there, we see if the hole's climbable. If it is, we go up there and we seal off the top so they can't get in. If it isn't, we go in one of these rooms on the side and find a new plan.
Casimir nods. Right. In that case, if one of you get a hold of that door, as soon as we hear or see them go through, I can seal off the shaft.
I meant we use it to get out to get
Oh, right.
to go through it.
All right,
I don't know.
Kiva is fine.
All right,
with that.
Casimir is going to take the dodge action because he has no idea what's going on. Esmeralda is going to do the same. Amity, you're up.
Okay, Amity is going to drag Rahadin's corpse towards the door. I suppose dashing. Someone else can get Lillison's corpse.
I have her
Right.
corpse.
In
She
the
just has-
room, up the hole.
If Kiva's okay with that. If not, we can find a new plan.
We get the bodies up
It's her
first.
magic,
If anything
keeping
else
us
happens
safe.
to Lillison, we won't be able to bring her back.
I trust y'all.
All
And
right.
I've raised bodies this way before. Y'all off the balcony in that house. We can do it.
Move quickly. You don't turn around no matter what you hear. You just get up and get out.
All right.
Okay. Is that? I guess that's Amity's turn.
Yep.
All right, Earthendeer, you're up.
Going inside, but before he does, there's a hum of magic, and Kiva, you heal for 8 as some of your wounds heal back together in a blush of gold green light. And then he steps inside, looking like he's trying to very hard to restrain himself from just charging the flame skulls, and looks up into the hole. What does he see?
All right, looking up at the hole above you, you see what appears to be 10 feet above the ground, a shaft that leads up perhaps 20 feet to a room of higher elevation. It's around 10 feet wide. And just kind of squinting at it from here, especially in the illumination of the flame skulls, you can see that, at least in the lower levels, there seem to be, abundant pockmarks, places in the walls where you could probably find some sort of handhold, if only you could get up that 10 feet.
If they're handholds, then I could pretty easily wedge a grappling hook in there, yes?
I would say you can try. It would take an action. Dex check.
I've got... God, how is this the single most useful item we own?
I will... yes.
16?
A 16 will do it. You needed a 15. You throw the grappling hook up, aiming for a handhold that you could just barely see squinting through the darkness, and you wedge it right in there, pulling taut. You're not sure how much weight it'll hold, but it's in there for the moment.
All right. I'm going to climb up and try and get this thing more secure. And he will do just that, using the rest of his movement to climb as far as he can get.
All right, I will say, you've got around... Not very much. I could say you can just get to the bottom of the shaft with your movement.
That's fine. Can he cling on so he's clinging on to the sides and not the rope?
Yes, I would say you can leap over.
Radical. Then I'm going to do that. That's my turn.
All right, so ends your turn. With that is the Flame Skulls. They shriek in horror, each of them eyeing Kiva balefully with terror, and then turning, swirling a trio of fiery spirits that blaze up the shaft past Earthendeer, doing their best to get as far away from Kiva as possible.
Oh, I did not know it worked like that.
Yeah.
Looking over this, the exact text says that they must spend their turns trying to move as far away from you as possible. What's that?
I believe you. I was just surprised.
Yes, and they can't willingly move to a space within 30 feet of you, which I take to mean that they can move close to you as long as they're doing it in pursuit of getting away from you. As long as they don't end their move there.
Yeah,
Earth
that's what
looks
I
back at the others. Well, honestly don't know what happens now. And that's his turn.
All right. Top of the round, back at Kiva.
So if they're already up there, do we need to go up this thing, or can we just go to another room or try to get out?
I guess a lot depends on if we can get through the main hall without getting burned to death. I don't see a way for us to do that. If we can't, then this is also our only escape route.
Clock's ticking.
Yeah, fuck it. She's just going to use her movement to get into the room, and make room for other people to go up the hole to get in there.
All right,
Like,
Metron,
to
you're
help
up.
lift the bodies up, if that helps.
Mhm. Sure.
Metreon will, with Lilison in tow. Let's see what my movement is. So yeah, I'm going to use my bonus action and movement to go up, so that'll be 90 feet total. So
All
as
right,
far as
that
I can
will
use that to get up there.
That will I will say that will. Let's see. That's around 40 feet to get there, and then another 60 feet up.
Yeah.
So I would say you can get most of the way. I'd say you can get around 20 feet off the ground.
Okay. And that's with the total 90?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. And because Lillison is an object and she is small-ish, am I still able to carry her, or like even up this thing? Or
I would say
have
your
to,
carrying capacity can probably handle her. She's
Alright,
pretty
cool.
small.
That's me turn.
All right. Very good. With that, Casimir is up. He will begin following his way up the rope. All right. Let me check something real quick. All right. Esmeralda is up. She's going to get in line, give a somewhat tired grin to Kiva. Wow, looks like a bit of a rush.
Well, I mean, happy to be queuing with you at least.
I'll stay sharp, son. All right. And Amity?
Using the hat on their winter clothes sets to staunch the bleeding, Amity will drag Rahadin in here. I don't know to what extent she can get up the rope with his body, if any, but
Yeah,
that's the dream.
Yeah. With Lillison, I think... Actually, you know what? I'm just realizing now, Metron, you probably couldn't carry Lillison up using the rope.
Mm-hmm.
Can we just sort of heave-ho, yeet him up there?
Yeah, just like, put her in a bag.
I would say, looking over the situation at Metron and Amity struggling to bring the corpses up, he kind of glances over and says, "Don't worry, I'll bring them up myself. Just you get up there safe." And you watch as he pulls out a spell book and begins flipping through the pages.
Yeah, Metron's on his
He
way.
was definitely going up last then to watch this. Just like, what are you gonna do with Lewis?
All right. So Amity, I guess you'll get in line for the rope.
Yeah, I think we're all just going up the rope.
All right, very good. In that case, Earthrendeer, you're just making your way up to the top, right?
Yep.
All right, I would say you're able to do so easily enough. You make your way all the way up to the upper area. You enter a new chamber, a featureless room except for the rough-edged 10-foot diameter circular hole in the floor and empty torch sconces along the walls. You can see double doors of amber standing open to the north and west, and a single closed door lies just south of the western set of double doors. Are you just going to hold outside of the top of the hole looking down for now?
I am going to see if I can see any signs of the flame skulls. Does it look like they went out one of the open doors?
Yes, you can actually see them kind of like whirling, bobbing, shrieking just at the very top of the hole, around 10 feet above your head. They are not having a good
that's
time.
Unnerving. All right. Unnerving, but seeing they aren't attacking him for now, Aerith's going to pull himself upward, and I think that's his turn.
All right. With that, the flame skulls will shriek, and let's see. They will immediately dart through the air, again in this strange spiraling vortex of flame and terror. As they will continue their effort to get as far away from Kiva as possible, they will move another 60 to 80 feet northward as they dash away. They
Good.
vanish beyond the double doors to your north.
Aerith quietly but firmly pulls those doors shut.
All right, I'll allow it. With that, Kiva, you're up. You're hanging around, right?
Yep, she's waiting for everyone else to go up first, and then she'll climb.
All right, Metron, you coming up on your own?
Yes, 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 I am. Yeah, so just how much movement do I need to get up there?
From your current vantage point, I would say around 40 feet worth of movement.
Okay, yeah, so I'll use my bonus action to dash then, and I'll join Randy.
Alrighty. With that comes to the end of your turn. I believe it is now Casimir's turn. You watch as he finds the page he was looking for, spreads his right arm out and begins chanting words of a spell quickly. You watch as his body suddenly flares in this viridian green cocoon, sprouting forth once more. You see the bone-skulled, black-winged, monstrous crow burst forth from his form, filling up a large amount of space on the floor. He kind of moves somewhat awkwardly, clacking the long talons on the ground, and then flapping his wings to gain some lift, moves to very gently pull them around Lillison and Rahadin. And that is the end of his turn. Next up is, I believe, Ez. She will begin clambering up the rope, making it clear to the top. Amity, you're up.
Amity ascends that rope.
All right, it is eminently ascendable. You emerge onto the top, joining Erthrindir and Metreon on the upper floor. You hear the shrieking of the flame skulls fading into the distance as you see Erthrindir finish slamming the doors shut to the north. All right.
Cool, yeah. If just helping hold doors shut if necessary, otherwise keep rolling.
All right, very good. Erthrindir, anything from you, or are you just holding the door shut?
Gonna close the other set of doors too, and then that. Yes. Does it look like there's nothing really in here, right?
Aside from the doors around you, I mean, you can make a quick perception check to look around.
I'd like to do that. Yes.
All right, let's see what you got.
20.
20. Looking around, you don't see anything of immediate note. However, you do see in the southern part of the wall, right between two places where torch sconces lie empty in this darkness, you see a very faint pattern of scratches on the floor, just faintly illuminated in the fading lights of the flame skulls for an instant before it's gone.
All right. Gonna deal with that secret door later, as he is just going to attend to holding the fort down until everybody else gets here, and making sure all the doors are shut.
All right. And so ends your turn. The flame skull's shrieking continues to fade until there is not left to be heard. Kiva, top of the round. You're still hanging around?
Yeah, she's hanging around for everyone else to go up first, so that's what she's doing.
All right. With that, Casimir grips hold of Lillison and Rahadin's bodies, flaps his great wings a single time, then pulling his body in until sleek wings are pulled up on either side, just barely clipping the sides of the hole, soaring up to the roof above. Metreon, you see this massive white-skulled black bird, easily almost twice your height, burst forth from the shaft below and glide onto the floor just to the east of you, before settling down on the flagstone floor and gingerly setting down the two corpses it carries.
I let out a girlish yelp, but then noticing it's Lillison, I rush and make sure that her corpse is secure.
All right, you do. But you and Kiva notice one thing at the same time. Kiva, you notice... Sorry, Metreon, you notice that Rahadin's head appears to have fallen off. And Kiva, you see Rahadin's head rolling very slowly across the floor beneath the shaft.
Kiva will go over and pick it up and hold it up to her face and just go, not so strong now, are you? And sort of like throw it in her bag to bring it up for Amity.
All right. With that, the way is clear. I think that's all that's going on for the moment. So the only ones left to follow up is Kiva. So are you going to make your way up to follow the others?
Hell yeah, she is.
All right, with Rahadin's
head in tow.
weighing down your handy backpack, you clamber up the rope, dislodging it if you would like, on your way up the rest of the shaft, and ascend through the rest of the handholds and emerge onto the upper floor to join your friends.
I know you put it in your backpack, but I also like the visual of you using his hair to tie it to your belt loop.
Well, Kiva is going to, once she's all settled, take a dagger off of Metreon, cut off a lock of his hair, and braid it into her own as a reminder of, like, I am going to finish Strahd. So.
Hot.
All right.
Damn.
As Casimir settles on the ground, his form dissipates, suddenly diminishing greatly in size, and Casimir himself returns to his ordinary form, standing between the prone corpses of Lillison and Rahadin.
Everyone's safely up the hole, right? We're out of initiative.
Yes.
Aerith gives a shaky thumbs up. All right. Flame Skulls went north. We're running. Amity and I are holding the door. Don't think they can get through. Think we are safe.
Is this room not good enough to maybe rest?
I think it's as good as we're going to get. Though there's a
Okay.
secret door on the wall. We should make sure that's not going to lead to anything horrible.
We can take our usual watches, and she just sort of stutters, speaks, and looks over at Lillison. And then walks over to Amity and pulls the head out of the bag. She goes, I think you dropped something.
Oh, thank you. Amity is just arranges the head and body such that they're in a stable state.
All right, as you do that, Esmeralda will twist her wrist and summon the ghoulish hand and begin closing the ember doors to the west.
Aerith already did that.
Ah, very good. She will not do that then.
Okay. Aerith staggers over to the place where he saw the scratches on the wall, and we'll see if he can find a join.
All right. Make an investigation check for me.
Yes, sir. 18.
18. It doesn't take you long at all, given what you previously saw, especially now illuminated beneath the light of the sun sword. You find a door hidden in the mechanisms of the wall that clicks open, revealing a dusty space with cylindrical holes fit for scrolls or maps. A near perfect reflection of the room you found on the western side.
Is this one just as empty?
Just as empty. There's not a scroll to be seen, just dust in the walls.
Aerith steps inside, and does he get the impression if he pulled the door shut, he would be able to get out again?
Yeah, I think so.
As he pulls the door shut and goes into the corner of the room, and suddenly the sort of panic composure he's been keeping breaks, and his knuckles bark themselves on the wall. Stupid, selfish, impulsive hypocrite! Oh, you thought you were going to be a hero, did you? You thought you were going to finally do something good here? After the parade of fuck-ups and horrors that we have had to endure so far? Thought that maybe you'd get revenge, get to be a hero, get to make something here better after aiding and abetting every horror that's not the vampire we're trying to kill? Oh, boy, did it feel good, Aerith dear? Did you do a good job? Did you enjoy it? Did you have fun? Was it worth watching one of your best friends in the world burn to death? I hope it was. I hope you enjoyed getting to lose control. I bet it was a lot of fucking fun!
The rest of you hear this final eruption echoing faintly through the stone wall moments after Earthrendir disappeared into the secret door.
Yeah, Metreon with Lillison back in his lap casts kind of a side eye over at the door and looks at the others, especially towards Amity, and then back towards everybody else. Is he gonna be all right?
Just give him space. Clearly, he just needs to get that out. And she just sort of collapses down again and sort of like offers a hand for Ez to sit as well, and if she takes it, she will immediately lay down in her lap and just sort of like exhaustedly like try to get herself back to some sort of measure of sanity.
Esmeralda kind of, as you do so, kind of looks around at all of you with just kind of taut lips. So, we are evidently still in a bit of a bad spot. I imagine those things could come back any second now. Where do we go from here?
Well, if it's not too much trouble, maybe we can, well, once he's done with it, just try and do this thing in that room so it's, secure and all that.
She
I can
nods.
keep watch out here, and at the very least, they're gonna stay away from me. So
How long does that last?
I'm not entirely sure. I've never done it before, or at least the last time we did it was at the Argynvest Holt, wasn't it? I think she did it at Argynvest Holt.
Right.
For the
In
specters.
that case, in the interest of playing it safe, maybe we should join the Aswendians there just in case they come back.
Okay. Yeah, if there's enough room for all of us and 2 corpses.
She nods and then moves toward the secret door and raises a hand to knock, and then kind of freezes and looks helplessly toward the 3 of you.
Look,
We ain't got time for this. Just open it.
Yeah, I mean,
She nods and just opens the door and steps to the side.
Erithrindir's hand is bleeding. In his knuckles just raw and bruised as he looks back. What is it? What is it?
we need to get a place that's safe to do this spell. Is there enough room in there for at least the people who can do it in Lillison?
Right. Yeah. I think we can fit in here. It'll be a squeeze, but yeah.
All right.
Come
She's
on in.
gonna offer to help Metreon carry Lilin.
He, you notice when you look down at him, he seems to be muttering to himself, or at least muttering something to Lillison. And
Can she hear?
I mean, he's being pretty quiet about it. So, I mean, I guess you could maybe like roll
That would be-
perception or something. But
No, if you want it to be a private thing, that is fine.
yeah, he's just, we're gonna get you out of this, all right? Listen, I'm sorry. I know we ain't been on the best, but I didn't mean to just leave you behind like that. I really tried to make sure you was all right. I thought that doing that little light thing was just gonna get you out of this and get you better, but it just.
Kiva just puts a hand on Metreon's shoulder and gives it a little squeeze. She's obviously not hearing this, but she's just like, we'll get her back. We'll get her back.
Yeah. And Metreon looks up at Kiva briefly, not necessarily with tears in his eyes or anything like that, but just definitely very shaken, and looks back down at Lillison and just kind of scoops her up into his arms, bridal style, and he'll walk her into the room.
Kiva will follow and then sort of turn to Amity and just say, do you think it's okay to leave it out here while we do this? Or I think we should have you with us, obviously, when she wakes up.
I mean, who's going to do the... who's going to bring her back to life?
Well, I'm not sure how that scroll works that Van Richten gave us, so I don't know. Could be any of us, I suppose.
As you say that, you hear the northern door begin to slowly creak open once more.
Amity is holding it shut.
Oh, are you holding both of them shut?
Oh, Kiva
I mean-
runs over to Amity and helps her close the other door. If not, yeah.
Alright, I would say it gets like 3 inches, and then you kind of jolt forward and slam it shut.
Does she get there in time, or is it open?
I would say you do. It is shut.
Someone's knocking on this door. Can people get to the other 2 two doors. Amity points to the ones on the west wall.
As the doors start pushing open, Aerith looks back. Oh, shit, we need there's nothing to barricade them with. We can't.
I'll stay. Let's do this quickly. Come on.
There is no quickly. The spell takes an hour.
So then let's get started.
Can some people bar the western doors?
Esmeralda nods and moves over, Casimir going with her.
Amity, do you think if we prop his body up against the door, that way you can go and be with the Lillison and them?
It's certainly something I feel like I should be able to help with. Do you think you could hold both of these double doors? Just
She probably could.
I mean, you're pretty strong.
If
She's
she
pretty
rages
strong.
again too, she'll be fine too to hold him.
All right.
I never rolled on the fucking wild magic table after I raged last time. Fuck.
Oh, damn.
All good. So,
All right, Amity will leave Kiva.
with Kiva holding the northern doors and Casimir and Esmeralda holding the western doors, Metreon, Erthrindir, and Amity, where are you doing this? In the secret room or in the
secret
room?
yeah.
Yeah, Metron brought her into the
All right.
secret room.
All right.
And as everyone was kind of fiddling around out there, Metron set her down on the floor in front of him and is now officially going through his bag and pulls out the scroll again and unfurls it, places it on the ground beside her. And as Amity, you and Randy get in, you see him just looking over it as if the whole thing is in a language he doesn't understand. Help? I don't know how to read this. I mean, he gave it to me. I'm supposed to cast this right. I can do this kind of thing right, but I can't. I can't read this.
Amity studies the scroll. Sorry, you first, Erthrindir?
No, go for it.
Okay. I can't completely color it in, but I think if I studied it, maybe I could interpret.
Aerith looks between the two of them, just desperate. Okay. Yeah, I can read it too. I think.
Well, I mean, who's going to get us to go?
Aerith looks over at Amity. I think it should be you.
Because bringing dead people back to life is, well, I guess Metreon, earlier this morning you said I was good at it. I hope so.
That, and because you're stronger than me.
All right. The important thing is, even if it fails, it's okay. Lillison isn't dead. She's not gone. We can take us all back to the abbot. So, look, there's no need to be too glum.
I don't. She's dead, Amity. She dead, and she died horribly. And when I am sure every bit of it was in pain. I'm sorry if I can't not be glum.
I'm sorry. One thing I've learned in this place, just from seeing ghosts and dead people everywhere, is that dead isn't the same thing as gone. And you know she's not gone, right?
His eyes are wild, a bit crazed, but he looks up at her and takes a deep breath. I do. I don't know what this place does to souls. I don't know if she's going to come back different or wrong or... But yeah. Let's get her back.
Metreon slides the scroll over towards Amity's lizard feet.
All right. Amity draws a circle in this cramped room and invites everyone to sit at it for a very special edition of Seance.
Yep.
Okay,
And-
so just as a brief note, Amity, reading over the spell, as you noted, you do feel like there are some holes where you might need to interpret, but also the power of the spell is far beyond anything you've attempted in your brief career foraying into magic. You feel that if you are to cast this successfully, you'll need all of your will to bring to bear upon the powers and forces you're attempting to control.
Yeah.
In
Amity,
mechanical terms, you will need to make a DC 15 charisma check to cast this successfully.
yes, but her companions will help in mechanical terms. Buffs on the dice roll.
Yes.
I'm imagining most of the difficulty here, being that Amity's familiar with sort of seance type stuff, to be for Amity to like read the scroll over and over again and interpret it and like contextualize it into her own patterns, her own like beliefs on how magic works.
Yeah.
Okay.
As she does, Aerith kneels down next to her. Can I help?
This looks pretty difficult, so I'll appreciate all the help I can get.
All right. Yeah, it looks like. Okay, yeah, you've definitely got the power. You can call the soul down, but making sure we get the right one and that it turns right, that we have our Lillison back is going to be. I think I can help you with that. Just give me a moment. And Earthendeer stands and pulls out his wand. And as he does, Metreon Amity, you recognize the lines that begin to issue from it is the same that he did when casting the illusion magic back at the Blue Water Inn. What feels like a lifetime ago now. But instead of the color of the sea, these lines are a deep, poisonous green, as neither of you can read Elvish, right?
No.
No.
Okay, then you would not know this. But as Earthendeer begins carefully tracing the perimeter of the circle, and as he does, he's writing about Lillison. Elvish words shimmering in the air, forming along the walls, the floor, the ceiling, until you are surrounded by a corona of that deep green light. Naming her, talking about her personality, her build, what she likes, what she's told him about her history, about all the horrors and joys that lay there, every bit of Lillison Winterstar that he can remember as he tries to write out her life, at least what he knows of it, and help call her down. And as he does, he is going to use that to cast Enhance Ability on Amity. As he looks down at her, surrounded by the green. Your move, lovely.
Mm-hmm. There's familiar elements from the seance, candles flickering this ultraviolet purple, the ground tremors slightly. Late into the hour, Amity is still poring over the scroll, reading and rereading it. Her eyes not yet in full demon mode yet. She says, I think I know the connection. It's magic comes in threes. The three little pigs, Goldilocks and the three bears. A story has three acts: the beginning, the middle, and the final battle. And a person can have three chances. So, and now she shakes as her eyes glaze over black with like little tendrils coming out of them. Return Listen to life, as she calls from the scroll.
And as she prepares to do this, Aerthrindir lets the magic around them flare, letting it call Lillison back, and in doing so gives her bardic inspiration.
Okay.
Can you hear me, Lillison? Is her soul coming, or what's happening?
Well, at this moment, as you feel the power begin to build around you, you watch as these purplish lights so deep as to be that ultraviolet black that you had previously seen seem to turn darker even, drinking in the light, then devouring the darkness that settles in around them until you feel yourselves floating in a void. You can see the wisps of Amity's power, deep purplish fog and mist swirling around you. In the distance, Amity, you can feel the weight that you cast, the hook, search, grasping blindly, and then snare, briefly catching upon something. As it does, Lillison,
Yeah.
you feel yourself floating in the empty void. Darkness around you for leagues, miles, infinities in every direction. There are no shadows here, for even shadow requires light to be cast. There is only the nothingness. You think you can feel somewhere becoming more real, becoming more solid. Structures of mist. Boundaries slowly closing around you, but at the same time they are toward the back of your thoughts, not yet realized. Phantasms not yet become true. Where once there were voices, cloaked, hooded shadows watching you from the void, there is now only nothingness. You don't know how long you float there. You know only that you are cold, and that you are alone. And then, slowly, approaching toward you from both an infinity and less than an inch away from your face, a small hand, wrought of silvery mist, tinged with purplish streaks of magic. The hand occasionally beats as though a living flesh, as though a living heart is beating within it, the veins flaring a bright, familiar, diabolic red. The hand trails away, vanishing into the faintest outline, the faintest silhouette of a familiar feminine figure, twin horns rising up, eyes kind and yet forceful, drawing in power into them, reaching out toward you. There was a wordless gesture, an offering to take the hand. Do you take it?
In this place where there is no place and there is no time and there is no notion of next, Lillison drifts forward and takes it.
Amity, I'm going to need you to make that charisma check, please.
A note for the audience. The chance of failure here is approximately 5%, a probability that if you play D&D is close to your heart. Let's add some numbers together, shall we? Amity's charisma is 5. The bardic inspiration adds a d8, which is also 5, for a total of 10. There's now a d20 being rolled with advantage because of enhanceability, which is also a 10, for a total of 20. I believe that's enough.
And you would be correct. For as Lillison, you reach forward and grasp the hand, It suddenly surges with solidity and warmth. You see the rest of Amity's form begin to corporealize. Amity, you see before you, floating in the center of the circle, Lillison's spirit, forged of no green magic, but of just pure silvery mist, reaching out, now grasping your hand, her eyes wide, unseeing. And at the center of the circle, her body, lying prone just beneath the ethereal, drifting wisps that form the edges of her ghostly form. I will ask Amity, out of curiosity, as you feel the spell take hold and prepare to bring Lillison back into her body, restoring her soul to life, how would you like to do this?
What a wonderful question. Amity sees Lillison's soul sort of appear in front of them, and she's going to ask everyone in the circle, help draw her soul into her body.
Right. There's got to be 3. As Earthrendir takes Amity's hand in one, Metrion's in the other, and prays.
And as he does, bringing the 3 of you together, you feel, more than see at first, the sparks shooting from Earthrendir's wand, twisting in strange runic patterns, not formed from his words so much as his thoughts, as the silvery purple mists swirl around you, Amity. And Metrion, for a brief instant, in the corner of your eye, you see a tall, feminine figure, many-winged, bursting with golden light. And then Lillison's soul plummets, vanishing into the body, aligning perfectly with every limb, every part of the torso, the legs and head perfectly in place, and then vanishing into the physical form. Lillison, you can feel your limbs once more, as you are restored to your body and to life.
Before I get into this, what are the mechanical drawbacks, if any, of having been brought back this way?
You have a -4 to all attack rolls, saving throws, and ability checks, for the moment.
Excellent. Lillison's limbs jerk just spasmodically all of a sudden, and she pulls in a gasping, ragged breath of air. And when she lets it out, it is as a hoarse scream.
Metreon wants to rush to her and almost does, but then remembers the dislike of being touched, and so keeps himself next to her, but at a distance, and just on his hands and knees, just watches her sort of be reborn, screaming in this chamber.
Aerith does not resist that urge as he's runs across the room, wand forgotten, courtesy forgotten, as he falls to his knees next to her, just as if to be sure that what he heard was a breath and not some last exhalation of the dead. Please. Please.
Her chest appears to be moving. She seems to be breathing.
She's still screaming, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. She's still
is
screaming
she?
then.
Yeah, that's what I was like.
That's fine then.
Okay.
Yes, she's very. She's not breathing because she hasn't taken a breath yet.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, when Randy, you get close to the body, and if you try to reach out, Metron would put his hand up and kind of keep a barrier around her to just let her ride this out.
He nods, looking momentarily guilty, and steps back, his eyes just fixed on her.
Lillison's scream slowly changes from a low, hoarse, rasping thing and rises in pitch and intensity to this sharp, focused high wail. And then she draws in another deep, desperate breath and starts blindly feeling about her, her face just fixed in this expression of absolute terror, like she's not actually seeing anything in front of her.
When he sees her starting to reach around, Metron will relax his arm from Earthendir so that he can go to her.
Yep, as he gently grabs onto her hand. Hey, we're here. You're safe. It's okay. It's okay.
Lillison clutches at him, and her fingers tear at his flesh with just the blind desperation and savagery.
He does not care right now. He, as blood drips on the floor. Yeah, that's okay. I'm here. Just hold on. Hold on.
Seeing how desperate and terrified she looks, Metron's body unconsciously glows with that kind of silvery golden light. And you will get 10 points of HP.
Thank you. I'm not sure how many I come back with, actually.
You come back with 1, so you now have 11.
Ah, okay. That's a lot of my current HP.
Yeah, that's like 2/3 of it, right?
Yeah. After she finishes with her second lungful of air, her fingers grow slack and her body relaxes, and she kind of flops backward on the floor and curls up slightly.
And yeah, I'd say the light he's trying to kind of keep up and create this sort of incandescence in the room that hopefully is bringing her back down to earth and out of this state.
It's okay. It's okay, I promise. You're safe. I know it hurts. I'm so sorry.
No, 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 no.
I'm sorry. I didn't know it would be like this.
I don't think this is your fault.
It is just some heavy shit you're dealing with there. Lil, can you hear us?
Why?
Why what? Why we bring you back?
Why?
DM.
Yes.
I don't know if I would be able to use it in this way, because I know there's a separate spell for it. But would I be able to use Charm Person to get her to calm down?
That is a good question.
The
I
charm
would
creature
say-
regards you as a friendly acquaintance. That's all that the description says.
I would say not, because Calm Emotions is a separate spell and a second level spell.
Okay.
Good thought, though.
Aerith's hand is not left hers, is there's bloody furrows torn by her fingernails on his arm as he just settles next to her, thumb gently stroking the back of her hand. Just take your time. We're not going anywhere.
Amity, oh, sorry.
Go on.
Starts telling some really relaxing fairy tale, like Hansel and Gretel, but only with the house full of candy and not with the parts at the end.
Surprisingly enough, that seems to do the most to get Lillison to, if not relax, then at least become less agitated as her limbs slowly stop tensing and her head lulls back and her breathing evens out a little.
Can you talk? Don't if it hurts, but can you understand us?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Okay, that's all. Just rest. It's okay. It's gonna be okay.
Mitran at this point, seeing that it seems that Randian has a bit of a hand on this, is going to excuse himself and step out into the other room to check on Kiva and Esmeralda.
All right. You
We're
step
just
out into the
vibing
other
with the
room.
door shut.
Over the past hour, I will say, Kiva, you, Esmeralda, and Casimir have each felt gentle nudges against your doors a few times for the first 15, 30 minutes or so. But then those nudges seem to largely stop. Though, Metreon, as you step out into the room, there's a brief moment, and then you notice what looks like a faint shimmer of flickering green firelight coming from the base of the shaft.
Oh. Does it seem to be coming up the shaft?
No, but it does seem to be a very familiar looking green firelight coming from the room below.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one. I will go up to Kiva. Oi. Kiva, oi.
Did it work? Yeah. Did it work?
Yeah. You ain't here screaming? Listen, there's and Metron just gestures towards the shaft, the hole in the floor. I think they're back. So whatever we do, we just gotta either you do whatever you did last time, or we just gotta find another way out.
Kiva just nods and sort of drops her voice a little bit and just goes, keep her quiet if you can. Maybe we can move her into one of these other rooms here.
Yeah, I think Randy and Emily got this. I think, she's gonna be all right though. I feel like. I think.
Okay, so we just have to be very quiet and not be not do anything too crazy, like scream again, and we'll get out of here.
Did you guys know what was behind these doors?
I didn't dare to look, so I'd really like not to find out. But if those skulls are downstairs, maybe this way is clear.
I really hope so.
Ragna, if she pushes her ear to the door, would she hear anything?
Make a perception check.
Another 15.
You failed to hear anything on the other side. Seems quiet.
All right. Very, very, very slowly, she's going to crack open the door and look beyond and see if she can see anything.
All right. You peer beyond very slowly, looking for any sight of anything on the opposite end. And through the door, you can see faintly in the darkness, now illuminated by the sun sword, I presume, that glazed amber covers the walls of this 20-foot wide, 70-foot long arched corridor. The amber doors at both ends of the hall stand open, and a closed door is in the middle of the east wall, with 3 arrow slits cut into the wall across from it. Cracks in the black marble floor run the length of the hall.
Does she get the sense, looking at those arrow slits, like, can she crawl underneath them?
Yeah, you think you could.
All right. Does crawling use, like, a different movement speed?
You go at half speed while you crawl.
Okay. She's going to make sure that she crawls under those arrow slits, but she wants to close those other doors at the other end of the hallway.
All right, so while you're doing that, yeah, I would say you can start moving in that direction. While you're doing that, what are Lillison, Erthrindir, and Amity doing?
Not much, TBH.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yep.
Eric's just sitting with her, listening to the fairy tale.
All right. With that, Kiva, you slowly crawl on your hands and knees forward up the length of the corridor, ducking below each of the arrow slits in turn. As you approach the opposite end, you see a pair of open doors leading to another chamber, and as you peer into the other chamber, you can see here the walls and ceiling in the eastern portion of this bare stone room have collapsed. To the west and south are open amber doors. In the center of the room is a 10-foot tall statue of a jackal-headed warrior made of cracked amber. And as you move toward the open doors, it turns to face you and clenches its fists. I will need you to roll initiative, please.
Motherfucker, okay.
Do we all roll initiative?
Just Kiva for now.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm watching her in the hallway. I don't know, like, would I see this from where I'm at?
I would say you don't see anything yet, but
Okay.
the golem has first go.
All right.
Yeah, she's right in the doorway, so
Certainly
she's
hear something if it
probably
hits.
blocking anything. You will. She will scream.
All right, so with that,
She's not raging right now. This is gonna suck.
she's not raging. The golem will turn toward you, and it will extend a hand in your direction. I will need you to give me a wisdom saving throw, please.
Mother trucking bitch. This is gonna hurt. Where's my wisdoms? 14.
That does not make it, I'm afraid.
Mother.
You watch as this shimmering field of amber light suddenly curls around you, surrounding your limbs and slowing you like molasses, clinging to you. Each time you try to move, you are slowed. What this means is you cannot use reactions, your speed is halved, you can only make one attack on your turn, and you can either make an action or a bonus action on your turn, but not both.
I love this for me so much.
Mhm.
So great.
And let's see. Very good. Okay. With that, you can make the saving throw again at the end of each of your turns, ending it on a success.
Okay. Well, she has enough movement to get close, so she's gonna hit it, I guess, with the sun sword. So let's go for it, brother. That's a crit.
Good
So,
timing.
28 to hit. I don't know if that hits. Does a 28 hit, Dragna, my
A
love?
28 will certainly hit.
Amazing. So that's 16 radiant damage right off the bat for a little funsies.
Okay,
Does this
16
guy
damage.
count as getting another radiant thingy or no?
What do you mean?
They're not fiends
Like,
are undead.
They're not feeds are undead. Okay, thank you. I have no idea what an amber golem is. Okay.
chill.
Great. So that is literally all she can do. And she can't even rage. So beat the shit out of her.
Okay.
So Dragna, with
At this
me
point,
at the-
everyone else, I would say the three of you can roll initiative.
Okay, great.
So you, Casimir, and Ez.
Avenge me.
Ooh, now with a 9.
Oh my god, we got the same initiative though.
Oh my god, we're gonna die at the same time.
Oh my god, I love us.
Okay, Casimir has first initiative. He instantly jerks up and looks at you with horrified eyes. What the hell's going on?
I don't know, there's some big ass thing down there. It's big. It's really big.
Shit, fuck. He will move toward it, eyes wide. Let me take a look at his spells. I want to see what he can do here. What's the range on this? Alright, alright. Continually cursing to himself, he will... Let me see the casting time. What's the casting time? Cool, one action. He will raise a hand, spit a word, and immediately two massive panels of stone emerged from the ground, slamming up into the ceiling and walls between Kiva and the golem, obstructing its sight of you and stopping it from moving any closer. He lets his hand drop, breathing hard, his chest heaving.
Oh wait,
Shit.
I gotta make a wisdom thing.
Ah, yes, at the end of your turn. Go by all means.
Never mind. Just forget I said anything.
All right. Shit. Yes. Hold the doors. Kiva, get back here.
I can't move.
You can move just at half speed.
I know, she's being dramatic.
Very fair. All right. That is the end of his turn. I will say we are out of combat for the moment. As you pause for a few moments, Esmeralda darting her feet and reaching for her weapons and blurring forward, and she's halfway across the corridor before all four of you realize that the walls seem to be holding and don't seem to be being disturbed.
Yeah, Metron will follow after Ez.
Ugh, I hate this fucking
But he will be running past these arrow slits, not crawling.
All right.
If that matters.
You can briefly see the temple floor, but you don't see anything beyond that if you glance through them.
And then, yeah, once he gets to her, he's going to start dragging her.
Mm-hmm.
whether
Gotcha.
close or not.
As we'll give you a hand, begin pulling her back away from the
Yeah, it's
wall of
definitely
stone that has been left
faster for
there.
y'all to drag me than for me to move.
All right, they will pull you back to the starting room. While this is happening, Earthrendir, Amity, and Lillison, you have heard assorted noises.
Aerith looks up at Amity, gaze sharp. Shit, do you want to go or shall I?
Although, let me think.
You go.
Has anyone actually yelled?
I mean, Lillison was
Just trying to-
screaming.
No, but other than Lillison, has anyone, like, spoken at a loud voice?
No. Kiva.
All right, in that case, then I would say that Aerith, Lily, and Amity have not noticed this.
Wouldn't it be
Brad.
weird if Kiva was like? No, I'm sure she's fine.
Yeah, they're fine out there. We can only take care of ourselves right now.
All right.
Trust in them.
Esmeralda, her voice hushed, will quietly but firmly close the door. All right. Okay. Now we know that something else is waiting at the other end of this for us.
There's
Good to
no
know.
place safe here. There's no place safe here.
Casimir, where the fuck is this thing?
I don't know. It seems to be some sort of golem, some creation of whatever was here, some sort of guardian, perhaps. I'm not sure.
How do we find this thing that you need so we can get out of here.
Look, I just... If we could take it methodically, work together, some kind of tactical approach, I'm sure that we can find what we're looking for.
What does that mean to you?
I don't know if you've noticed about tactical approaches and us, but Lillison just died and came back after some sort of tactical approach, and I just tried to close a door and got attacked by a giant ember statue. So maybe we just need to just find it and get out and not really worry about tactics.
He opens his mouth and raises a hand as if to say something, and then just kind of shuts his fingers and just kind of winces. You can tell there's something he really fucking wants to say, but is refusing to allow himself to.
Say it.
Oh, she just gives him a look. Like, fucking say it. Let's go.
Say what's on your mind. I could tell you got something to say.
I said that we didn't need to take him on. I said we could just stay behind. I respect and I appreciate Anthony for what he did, but it wasn't necessary. We could have lingered. We knew that there was something in there. We didn't have to go after him. He wasn't aggressing us.
Look, yeah, well, that's really something that maybe you should take up with him and not give us an attitude about.
I ain't... Look, y'all are some fine folks, and I can tell you're quite accomplished, but if only we go piece by piece. Look, if you're planning on going against the devil in his castle, you can't just rush in like this. Look,
Kaz,
I'm with you in the mission.
Kaz. We're not accomplished. All right? We none of us has to be here. None of us has to do any of this. We're looking to you for guidance here. You're the one who's been here. You're the one who knows what you're looking for. We don't.
I've never been beyond the front door.
That's further than any of us have been until today.
Look, if we can all just get together and talk things out, I feel like we'll have a much stronger handle on the situation.
Where do we go to talk where we're not going to be attacked by giant statues and big flaming skulls? Because they're back. And Metron points down at the hole.
He licks his lips. Could have closed that off, but I guess now that's not exactly an option. Damn it. Look, let's try to get to the others as quiet as we can and talk things out in a closed, hidden area, alright? As long as I hold that wall up, that thing's not following us. Now, I can let that wall down if y'all want. I don't know if it'll pursue us with the doors closed, but if we're hidden in there, maybe we'll have a shot.
Keep it up as long as you can. We'll shut the doors.
And keep the doors shut and for the west. So you go and talk out tactics. I'll go wherever you tell me. Just finish this.
Alright, do we want that wall to be permanent? Because if I leave it up the full 10 minutes, it's going to stay there. And we won't be able to go through that door no more.
That's fine. That's fine. Just figure this out, please.
He shakes his head. Right, let's get inside with the others. Alright, and he will, assuming the others don't object, begin moving toward the hidden chamber with the others. As we'll look to see what the others are doing before following.
Kiva's going to stay and keep the door shut.
Yeah, Metron's going to follow Kaz.
Alright. Then the three of you will make your way into the hidden chamber. And Esmeralda will turn toward Kiva. Kiva, I think we should be safe in here. I don't think you can hold that by yourself, especially not if that thing decides to come knocking. It's okay, just come with us, we can talk this out.
Kiva gives her a look, and it's one of those looks that she's scared, but Ez could probably get the sense that she's more scared to go see Lillison than to stay out here.
Esmeralda closes her eyes, her shoulders slumping. Look. Please, it's going to be okay. Just come inside, alright? It's going to be okay.
Kiva relents and leaves the door and just walks past her and says, "For our sake, I hope you're right."
All right,
And
and
then
as the
go to
last two of you enter the hidden chamber, that is where we are going to take our break today. Well, that was fun.
Enjoy, Twitch. Y'all have a jam-packed episode. Jesus
Lovely.
Christ.
Who's Jesus Christ?
It's a old. You know what? I don't even have the energy.
You know who else doesn't have the energy? It's Lillison. But that's a whole
It's
different
true.
matter.
I,
Oh, that's
I
I thought
do
you were
true.
going
not
to
have
say
any
Jesus
energy.
Christ because he also doesn't have the energy, but
Yeah, we're just gonna.
And Lillison
you know,
died for our sins. Just...
I did actually. Thank
You
you
did?
for noticing.
Congratulations. How does martyrdom feel?
Oh, it feels great. It feels very sweet.
It really becomes her, you know.
Yeah, I have no particular intention to go back for thirds though. So we're gonna
Good.
we're gonna
good. We can't
get our shit together and get the ball rolling, right?
Yeah, we're going to come back after break as tactical geniuses.
Let's
Yeah.
try as a mental breakdown. As always, we will pick this back up after a short 15-minute break. This week's Fireside Chat features Haley, the co-creator and GM of Party of Two RPG, who'll be talking about running single-player TTRPG games. So we do hope you enjoy, and as always, we will see you back here soon.
Welcome to Fireside Chat, a short interlude with weekly features, where I, your host Jup Lucas, will be showcasing and interviewing prominent D&D creators. This week, we're talking to Haley, co-creator and GM of Party of Two RPG, about running single-player games. Why run a single-player D&D campaign? What unique challenges do the DM and the player face when running such a campaign?
I love running a single person campaign. The intimacy of a smaller setting with only one person and the DM is so beautiful when it comes to RP. That's the main thing that I love about tabletop RPGs is the roleplay aspect, and when there's just the two of you, you can get really into the roleplay and the storyline that way. One of the challenges that does bring up, though, is that when you don't have a larger party, everything relies on that one player making a decision or the NPCs filling out the party themselves. So it puts a lot of pressure on the player to make decisions, and they don't have anyone to really bounce ideas off of because the NPCs are basically just the DM.
How does the narrative change when you're telling a story about one main protagonist instead of 4 or 5?
The thing that's really cool about working with just one player is that you can personalize everything that's going on in the campaign for that player. So it's the difference between having a book that you're reading and there is one main character and you're getting to follow their story through the events of whatever world they're a part of, versus having 10 main characters and they all get their own book and massive storyline. You get a series like the Wheel of Time, which is 13 massive books and lots of different characters to keep track of, versus a single story with one protagonist. It's much more succinct and focused, but it becomes much more personal because you're viewing everything through one person's eyes and you're getting to explore the entire world through their experience. So when you're building story arcs and you're creating in a world with one person in mind, you can pull in things that you know are going to be very personal to them that are going to affect their character directly, and you're not having to think about more than one character and how it will affect them.
How does combat change when you're running a single-player campaign?
When you have a single player campaign, the combat becomes much more heavy on the DM to manage and to fill out. So you have NPCs that are going to be a part of it, and then you also have the monsters. One way that we have adjusted for this in our campaign is that we have taken the NPC and had the person, the player, actually Jaeger that NPC. Jaeger as in running them, essentially, for that session. So when we get into combat, the player will be in charge of their character, but then I will hand them a character sheet for one of the NPCs and say, here is the NPC sheet. You are going to be in charge of them for this combat. And it does change who the player is in charge of in the combat arena. But when you're having to fill it out with other characters and other NPCs, it does rely really heavily on the DM to fill all of that out. And so it requires a lot of organization of knowing exactly what the NPCs can do, what the villains can do, what the monsters can do, and putting together almost like a dance with all of the different characters, and you're orchestrating it from above as the DM. It's really fun and can create some really, really cool moments, but it definitely is a lot more difficult when you are having to control 2/3 of the battlefield as the DM.
How does the pacing of a single-player game differ from the pacing of a multiplayer campaign? Does improvisation play a greater or a lesser role?
When you set up the pacing for a single-player game, it differs quite extensively to a multiplayer campaign because all you're focusing is on one person. So if they want to hang out in a town for a longer period of time and there's no one else with any other objectives, then we can hang out in that town for a longer period of time. Since our stream is done live, we also take into account the viewership. So we try really hard not to make things really boring for our viewers, as in we don't take forever at a different town, or we try to make travel a little bit faster, which is something I've learned as a DM. I hate travel, and I'm not going to make it a thing later on in our campaign because it's so frustrating. But when you're pacing it all out, it really comes to what you and that one player feel like is an adequate amount of time to explore a certain area or to spend on a certain plot point. There's very few times that I've had to, as the DM, focus or move the story along that my player wasn't interested in moving along as well. I'm very aware of what my husband wants because he is my husband. My player is my husband, so we are very connected, and we're able to kind of see what the other person is leaning towards, what they like, what they're not liking. And we're also very communicative as well, as if we feel like it's taking too long to do something or go somewhere, we're both very open to discussing it and talking about it after the sessions themselves. Improvisation plays a huge role when it's just the one player. You have to be able to, in a split second, create something different for them to look at. When you have a lot of people, it's very easy to create a scenario and then just let them go and let them have fun and riff in the session. But when it's just the two of you, you have to be very, very present as to what's happening, because you don't have someone to just out of left field throw something and be like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to do this. But you have to be able to create and craft the story and bring in random elements into the story that is a little bit more difficult because you are kind of having to pull it in from the air, it feels like, at different times. One example is when I first took over as the DM for our game, I was having to figure out a way to get our player, his name is Az. I was trying to get Az into a specific area of the forest, and I couldn't figure out how to do it. And so I kind of just threw an idea out there against the wall, and he ran with it, and it became an exercise in yes and. So he would say something, and I would take that idea for a little while and be like, okay, this is cool. And then I would throw something out and he would walk with that as well. So the idea that you say yes to whatever is being thrown out and then you continue moving forward is a huge part of tabletop RPGs to begin with. But I feel like when you have a smaller party, it's more so that you have to be very aware of that yes and. You can't have a lot of shutdown of ideas or movement just because it might not necessarily work with what you were thinking. You have to move through it and you have to figure out how to make all the pieces work together.
What other lessons have you learned from running single-player campaigns, and was the most important piece of advice you would share with a dungeon master and a player hoping to start one?
The biggest part of running a single player campaign is synergy. You have to be very connected to the person that you are playing with. It can't be a scenario of, I'm going to sit down and just like randomly BS some stuff out here and you're going to be happy with it. If it's a single player campaign, there is a lot of pressure on the DM to create something extremely personalized, and everything that you do is with the idea of creating a game that is fun for the person sitting across the table from you. So that synergy matters a lot. I am very lucky that my player is my husband, because he and I didn't have incredible connection and incredible synergy to begin with. So when we went into doing this, it was almost like breathing. It was very natural for us to communicate and to discuss things with each other of what we like, what we don't like, about like where we're going with the story and how we're making it happen. So that is really important. If you're going to do a single player campaign, you have to make sure that connection is there and that the lines of communication are very open. Another part is that you have to be very trusting, because you can't hide when it's just you and a single player. The player can't hide, you as the DM can't hide. Everything is out there and very vulnerable on the table. So you have to be willing to discuss and have that trust that that person is going to take you where you want to go if you're the player. Or as the DM, you know that the player trusts you to take them on this journey. So you have to be very aware of that trust and have that idea in your heart while you're going into it. One of the most important pieces of advice that I would give to people who are wanting to start on a single player campaign and go into that world would be, it's fun. I know that sounds kind of quaint and slightly stupid or goofy, but there is a lot of pressure, I feel like, that's put on both the DM and when it's a single player campaign on the player as well, to be brilliant and to have amazing moments and create magic and whatnot. But the whole point of why we do what we do in the TTRPG world is fun. We want to have fun. We want to be heroes. We want to be the knight that slashes down the dragon. We want to save the damsel. We want to defeat the ogre. We want to be heroes in our own story. And so this gives us a chance to be heroes, to overcome the things that in our daily lives we know we can't. We can be courageous in our game where we can't be in real life. We can tackle problems and work through issues in the game that we might not have the opportunity to do in our daily lives. And that's why it's so much fun. So remember, when you're going into a one-on-one game, it's all about fun, and it's just creating a cool story. Whether or not it's epic or sad or funny, it's all about, at the end of the day, what you and your DM, your partner, decide it's going to be. Nobody else's opinions on your game should have anything to do with it. So that is my advice.
Where can people find you and your work?
I am one half of Party of Two RPG, which is a single player and DM campaign that is run on Twitch. You can find us battling monsters and saving the world on Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time on twitch.tv/partyoftwo. Catch up with us on Instagram at Party of Two RPG, or me personally on Twitter at HayleyM_Bell. That's HAYLEYM_Bell.
And welcome back, everyone, to Curse of Strahd Twice Bitten. We hope you enjoyed a relaxful break. As always, a few quick announcements to get out of the way before we begin. As always, a shout out to our continuing virtual tabletop sponsor for this campaign, Foundry VTT, as well as our second sponsor, The Forge, an integrated hosting service for all of your Foundry VTT needs. Be sure to check them out if you're hosting any campaigns digitally, virtually, remotely with your players. They make for an excellent and reliable toolset. With that, Twy, give us a spin on Twitch.
Hello, young wizards, and welcome to the Amber Temple School for Magic. And as all us new students know, this is a fine, outstanding school where we believe that the only way to gain magical power is application. And what better application than dodging magical power yourselves? Our patented flame skull technology means that walking to class is a exciting and vivifying ideal as you run through the flames, dodging the playful lightning bolts of our lovely principal, Mr. Nepheron. Know that your tuition has not gone to waste, and that if you, listener, would like to enroll in the Amber Temple University, where you need only subscribe to Twice Bitten D&D on Twitch. For just $4.99 a month, you can have the honor of being disintegrated by the finest fox this side of Zeplucas. And with that, Serena?
I never, ever know how to follow it. Okay. If you like what you are watching, you can join the discussion on our very own subreddit, reddit.com/r/twicebittendnd. And you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/c/rcurseofstrahd, for all of our past sessions, fireside chats, video essays, and highlights from the stream. As always, if you have any fan art questions or just want to say hi, you can reach out to us on Twitter at TwiceBittenCOS and at, oh my God, is that our Twitter handle? I think it is. Like losing my mind. And at our email, twicebittencos@gmail.com. That was a disaster after Twy, especially.
Beautiful. Thank you to the both of you. I think that went great, if I do say so myself. And I think we are ready to make our return. Yes, thank you, Shrieking Amber Temple Academy mascot in the back stands.
You're welcome!
It's our own version of
I'm
Gritty.
keeping this voice for the rest of the show.
No!
I hope
Oh
you know.
no! All right. Well, let's keep our distance from the dangerous mascots and try to keep some head on our shoulders as we return to the Amber Temple, in which several of the companions had entered to join the rest of the party. And as a group of you make your way into the cloistered, cramped space, Esmeralda reaches in, slowly closes the door behind her, leaving the 7 of you clumped together in the small chamber, just faintly illuminated by the glimmering radiance of the sun sword in Kiva's grasp. The first thing that 2 of you notice, Metron and Kiva, is that Lillison appears to be very much alive, sitting upright in a corner, eyes open, just breathing.
Kiva's not looking at her when they go in. And that fear that Esmeralda saw is still there in her eyes. But there's also like grief, because this is a hard thing to see, like, that it worked and that it brought her back when it maybe couldn't bring maybe back other people. So she's not really looking at Lillison.
Well, Metron goes in and looks at her. Oh, well, you're up then, yeah? You can hear what we're saying, and can you say something?
Lillison is slumped against the wall. Her gaze seems to be roving about, fixing on somebody every now and again, but mostly she looks either exhausted or like her focus is elsewhere. When Metreon says that, she raises a hand briefly.
Is that a yes or a no?
She's okay. I've talked to her. Just don't. We're trying to take it easy right now.
Yeah. Taking it easy here. It's a contradiction in terms.
It sure is. So, I presume by the lot of y'all in here, you have either news or a plan.
Metron looks around, noticing the awkward silence, and looks like he wants to say something, but knows that there's nothing to say, and sheepishly goes back to just looking down at the floor.
Casimir thinks it is in our best interest to tactically plan things. So we decided to come in here to try to do that. Since there is a giant amber statue that wanted to kill me at the other end of the hallway.
Wait, are you okay?
Presumably, I'm fine. And presumably even more horrors. The flame skulls are back in the room downstairs. So this is about the only safe space that we have. So we should probably make the most of it and figure something out.
Okay.
Wait,
Okay,
Kiva, you said you couldn't move. Do you still feel off?
Do I still feel slowed?
I will say that a minute has expired and your slowness has dissipated from you.
She sort of shakes herself out. And she's like, it was so weird. It was like I was moving through, like, tar.
Ooh, nasty business. Sounds like a slow spell or something. Well,
Sounds like a slow spell. That's exactly what it was.
I've been trying to think tactically ever since we killed Rahadin, because whether we want to or not, we have plunged ourselves into Act 3. After some number of hours, Strahd will realize that his servant is no longer serving him.
So you can tell us what you're
can't
going
you
to do.
raise him back and send him home with a note around his neck saying we're coming for you next?
Yeah,
Honestly, if Strahd comes for us and appears in front of us and threatens us, one thing that has crossed my mind is giving him the body and telling him to take it to the abbot, who will provide him with one free resurrection.
Well, don't you get it? Don't you get it, love? There's no bargaining with him. He'll slit our throats. He'll chop off our heads. It's payment, all right? There's no getting around that. Stop thinking you could bargain with this piece of shit. It's not going to happen.
I think that Lillison is in fact bargaining with this piece of shit.
If we're going to be honest, it's only going to end up one or two ways. Either she's pulling us into something, and Metron starts to lean in, trying to talk away from Lilson. Either she's trying to pull us into something, or he's going to pull her into whatever he's got ready for us.
Amity, is there a way that maybe with one of your abilities that you could help us find the specific thing that Casimir is looking for? I mean, I can also get a sense of the specifics of the sarcophagi if I get close to them, but maybe this is something that a more skilled magician might be able to handle.
With someone else's help, maybe. If you give me an entire day, to sleep and do another seance, I could learn the spell Locate Object and then constantly be a beacon detecting the nearest one of those coffins. And if
Do we
this,
have a day to waste?
I don't know.
Well, therein lies the issue. I've been thinking. And we need. I think it's safe to say we've all run ourselves ragged. I'm nearly out of magic. Kiva, you've been beaten black and blue. Lillison was dead. We. Even if Strahd's coming up here to murder us because I was a damned fool, then we don't really have a choice but to find somewhere we can rest and get our capabilities back. Otherwise, we're not leaving here alive, one way or the other. Problem is, we can't. You know that balcony outside, the one that leads to the exit?
Yeah.
When I was following Lillison out of there, I was on there trying to make sure she got out of there safe. And a fireball got launched from the statue and hit me in the face. He can see us, whatever wizard's in there, and they've got range. We can't go that way.
You see Metreon starts. You see the gears start to turn. He looks back at Lillison for a moment as you start to talk about whatever is in that statue. And as his head is still tilted towards Lillison, his eyes dart up towards Casimir. Oi.
Casimir's gaze jolts up toward you. Yes.
How many good spells? How much magic you got left? Can you, in theory, if you needed to, can you turn Lillison back into one of that thing, the big old bramble beast?
He pauses and then nods somewhat shakily. I've got enough juice, I think, left to do that twice more today. I don't know if anyone else has any other things they might be able to pull out of a hat. But
Hear
to
me
start.
out. Hear me out. Lil clearly felt some kind of way being in that form. I mean, you saw how she was getting out of it. She was elated. She was thrilled. And, I mean, she could take a hit in it. What if we just let the beast out again and, you know, let it serve as a bit of a shield, and we let it do its thing, we do our thing, and you know, when she's done with it, she'll come back for us, right?
She didn't last time. It's a good plan. It's a really good plan, Metreon. But the only reason she left when she was enchanted last time was because she was, well, enchanted. If I don't know what'll happen if we polymorph her as she is right now. It's a good idea as a shield. I think that's probably our best shot at getting her out safe. But she's just come back from the dead. She's not, I don't think, as either a combat application. I don't know if we can rely on that.
Well, we're running out of ideas here. And,
I know.
Metreon, when he says that, looks up at Lillison to see if she's been like reacting to any of this as we've been talking about her.
Her gaze has been fixing on each speaker in turn. Her expression is rather lifeless.
Kiva looks over to Casimir and just gives him a look like, could you do it to me if we needed to?
Casimir meets her gaze and kind of gives a nod of silent recognition. Right, so regardless of the ultimate target, if we're looking for a means of attacking the thing in the statue or of making some kind of covered escape, I can cast it on any of us, myself included, though that would probably be a poor choice, given how easily the spell might be disrupted under those circumstances. But as it was, the last time that we attempted this, some sort of enchantment spell was able to drive Lillison in that form from the temple. If that's the only weapon in our repertoire, I think we might need to move a bit past that. I don't know what others have to offer, but acting alone, I think the spell could certainly help, but I think we'll need a little bit more to get wherever we're trying to go, whether that's further in or further out.
If you climbed up the back, whatever is in there can't see you.
Kiva opens her mouth and closes it again and just says, if elves are resilient against being charmed, right? Does that carry over if you make me into that thing? At least it's a better chance than...
I don't think so, no. It's a full transformation. Any elfishness you may have had is gone, receded into the beast's form. I don't know if your friends might have any mechanism for resisting some kind of arcane suggestion, but...
I was about to say, first of all, you're not the only one who can cast polymorph. Amity waggles an eyebrow. In a pinch, I could be the one. And second of all, there's that balcony behind the statue, right? If the idea is that whoever's in there can't see behind it, then I could stand on the balcony and constantly be using counter charm.
Do you think you'd be safe from getting just blasted to bits?
No, but I'm willing to do it anyway.
Kiva just gives Amity a, absolutely winning smile with bloody teeth and black ichor all over her face.
Yeah, likewise. There's immense affection in Aerith's gaze for a moment.
Can I make a bit of a request then?
Go for it.
If Kaz can turn any of one of us into that thing and we do decide to try to topple that, whatever's in that, I want to be the one to do it.
I won't argue with that. I will say that I think our goal right now is escape. Don't get carried away in fighting when our goal's getting out.
Believe me, I'm right there with you. But if it comes to it, just... Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so we've got the beginnings of a plan then. Although, if we're going down, does mean we'd have to kill the flame skulls. No way around that.
Casimir holds up a hand. There's another route, but it would require us to go through that golem if we wanted to get to the balcony.
Oh.
I think that's probably our best bet.
Yeah.
It took some damage when I hit it, but so it'll be a little less sturdy, I hope.
Yeah, we can...
I'd much rather get past that than 3 flame skulls.
Yeah, I mean, when you hit it, I saw a big flash of light. I figured maybe you took a chunk out of it or something.
Okay. So am I sorting this out correctly? That our plans get through the Amber Golem, use a polymorph from Amity and a polymorph from Casimir to distract whatever bastards in the statue, while the rest of us sneak along behind it, and once they're safe, we climb up onto that balcony that claps beneath us and take the route out?
Yeah,
no, I think what Casimir is saying is, doesn't that way through the golem just lead directly to the balcony?
From what I recall, yes, it would lead us directly to the rear side of the statue. We'd have a free reign of attack, assuming it has no peepholes out of the back, as Lillison suggested.
Exactly.
Perfect.
We just go to the balcony and rain hell.
All right.
This seems unnecessary if all we want to do is get out. I mean, if we want to get in, then this seems like a real plan.
Oh, we have to see if this thing is here, right? And what we're looking for, and I doubt Casimir will let us leave without finding what he wants. So
Yeah, I was
He
just
told them-
thinking if we could find a way to get outside, reconnect with our team, and rest before we do that.
He holds up 2 hands. Look, I understand, and I can't force you to do anything. I'm grateful that you've come this far with me. But if under any circumstances you might want to return either out of a generous gesture to assist me with my family, or out of your own curiosity in finding what secrets of Zarevich might lie within here, you're going to have to go through that thing in the statue once again. And with the balcony on the western side out now, after it crumbled away, this might be our best chance to get behind it from our current location. Because once we get out, we're going to have to come right back in.
we should just finish this now.
He's right. I mean,
I wish you weren't.
if we got an extra, what's it called, polymorphy thing, is it possible maybe just to, turn that big old golemy thing to, maybe like a toad or something?
Would Earth know
I
this?
think we'd much rather.
You can make an
save
Arcana
it
check if you'd like.
for like a
All right.
destructive thing, right?
What happened to the toad that we already had?
25.
Oh, he ran away. He just left.
25, Dragna.
You know that golems, such as this one, have the immutable form feature, which make them immune to any spell or effect that would alter their form. You've actually seen attempts against them fail in Offstra.
Yep. Aerith holds up a hand. Polymorphin's no good. The golems like that, they're thick, they're nasty, they're built to stop folks from changing them. We're going to need to take it down full frontal if we're going to kill it. And it won't be insignificant either. I've seen what those can do. I've watched full battalions fall before them.
Well, that's reassuring.
Could we maybe take a rest in here?
Yeah.
Get some of our abilities back, not knowing that there's mechanical things, because she wouldn't know that, and maybe, and then we can go and fight this statue. I think it'll be better. And she finally looks over at Kaya fucking Lilson, and just says, "I think it'll be better if we give ourselves some time."
But
At this...
the
Oh, Lillison first.
flame skulls are little and crunchy.
Yeah, I'm gonna say we definitely want that time to just
Mhm.
maybe relax and not say horrifying things like that.
And we need to be careful with her too. Lilson, as I'm sure you're feeling right now, you're coming back from the dead's a process. You are going to be not, of course you know this, but more than just exhaustion, physically, magically, you are not going to be firing on full cylinders for a few days. So if we're going to be fighting, please be as careful as you can be.
I've always been careful, haven't I?
Yeah, you have.
Well, this Casimir holds up a hand. I'm looking toward him. You notice that there's sweat beading on his forehead. Right, I'm technically still holding that wall in place. Seconds are counting down. Do we want it gone? So we can make our way through?
Yeah,
It probably
we
won't follow us. I don't think it's intelligent enough.
We
Okay,
don't
so-
have the magic to blast through. Put it down.
Put it
He
down,
nods, and
let's-
then his shoulders relax, and he just visibly slumps, exhaling slowly.
Thank you.
In the distance, you think you hear the sound of grinding stone.
All right. Are y'all okay to sit down and rest then?
Yeah, I can take first watch, if that helps anything.
Thanks. I wasn't thinking long. I don't think we can afford long.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's only a matter of time before Strahd figures out, and Metron points over to Rahadin's lifeless corpse.
Not necessarily. He doesn't know until something tells him. And I really doubt any of his spies are gonna brave the fireballs to get in here.
Yeah, but where'd that toad go?
That what?
There's a frog.
That was the one oh, you didn't see that. So he ate it. He
He
swallowed it.
what?
Yeah, he put it in his mouth and he just sort of swallowed it whole. It was disgusting, actually. So when I cut his head off, it came back out, you know.
Then when it hops back to Castle Ravenloft at 2 miles an hour, I think we'll probably be well out of here.
It's not. I'm just saying. It's, if time is of the essence, let's make it of the essence, right?
Yeah, no, I'm not against it.
I think it's less.
Wait.
Wilson?
Amity, do you have detect animals?
Oh, you want me to detect the frog? Oh, that's a great idea.
No, bats, wolves. If he's expecting a letter from me today, I think he will be disappointed.
Sure. Which one? Bats, wolves, just all of them one by one?
Yes?
Amity begins with the bats.
Okay, what's the casting time for this? It's like 10 minutes, right?
Rituals are 10 minutes.
Okay, so I'm assuming everyone is beginning a short rest here, yes?
Correct.
Okay, so I will say that, Amity, if you'd like to forgo your short rest in favor of cycling through detect animals and assorted other rituals, you may do so.
Okay.
Okay, in that case, everyone, you may roll your hit dice. As each of you settles back in this dark, dusty, faintly illuminated room, the faint scent of musty parchment on the air, the silence. The cold is bad, the cold is terrible, but the silence is the worst part. Feeling closed off, isolated. It's almost claustrophobic in the way that you find yourselves in this small 20 by 10 chamber, not knowing how your friends have fared, how those in the valley below are doing without you, what your enemy is doing at this moment. You're left in the darkness with only your thoughts, your anxieties, and your fears to percolate in the back of your mind, occasionally intruding into the forefront of your thoughts. But thankfully, whatever mercies this place may hold, nothing attacks nor disturbs your time here. Only the silence and the dust and the chill in the air. Your short rest passes uneventfully.
When it's coming to an end and folks are starting to pack up to continue our journey, Aerith squeezes through the immensely crowded room until he's next to Amity and Rahadin's body. And he says very gently, hey, darling, can I ask you something?
Sure. And just to be clear, there were no bats or wolves or rats or so forth.
Yes, the results of what you have found. What's the radius on that?
1 second.
I believe it's 5 miles?
It's something, yes, 5 miles. And I learned about the closest one.
Gotcha. Well, there is a wolf around, looking at the map, I would say around 3/4 of a mile from you. Not moving in any noticeable direction. And there is a bat, I would say, around probably around a half a mile away.
Well, listen, the good news is these animals, I mean, they are coming up here in the cold mountains. The bad news is there's none of them right outside this room, so we will have to get out of the temple first.
Is that bad news?
Amity shrugs. Sorry, I thought you said it like you wanted there to be more bats.
Lillison shrugs as well.
What did you want to ask, Ethandir?
Can I see his sword?
Sorry, what did he say? Can he see the what?
Can I see his sword? The Rahadan.
Amity retrieves his sword and hands it to Erthrindir.
He
Right, it is a simple scimitar, but you get the sense that it's been both immaculately cleaned and also impossible to sufficiently clean. There are decades, if not centuries, of old bloodstains on the side of it.
Kiva looks away from that thing real fast.
God, it's like I can still hear the screams. And then in a sort of sudden fit of determination, he puts the short sword in his pack and straps this onto his body. I don't know why. If you were gonna ask, I just don't want. I want to keep it. Thanks for your time. And he very awkwardly sidles his way back through the room and.
What's your passive insight, Erthrindir?
9.
Okay. You notice kind of Casimir
Oh,
kind of
10.
glances at you briefly.
Sorry.
10? Okay.
Yeah.
You notice he glances at you briefly with a bit of an odd look on his face when he sees you drop the scimitar to the other side, but then just kind of looks back down at his spellbook and resumes checking.
Yeah, he'll walk over to him. If you want me to throw it away, I will. You've got every right to it. Far more than me.
He shakes his head. I assure you I have not the slightest interest in securing that weapon for myself. I certainly, if it's your wish to take it up, I certainly wouldn't move to stop you.
I know, my mentor always told me that it's the purpose for which things that are used that matter. That a thing or a person can be as horrible or as messed up as it can be, but if you can turn it towards a different purpose, then it can start to be something new. That's all, I guess. Wanted something different.
He frowns for a moment and then reaches his fingers out very gingerly, almost as though scared it will burn or bite him. Do you mind if I...
Here.
He shies away if you're offering it to him.
Yeah, or he's just
touch
holding it. He's just holding it out.
He briefly touches the side of the blade, just at the... just toward the center of it, where it's sharpest and most exposed. You see dark bloodstains there. How many decades or centuries old you don't know, and he just kind of very slowly runs his fingers down the length of the darkest red stain, slowly pulls his hand away, and pushes his hand under the hood of his cloak, beneath the cowl and his long dark hair, and just keeps his hand there against the side of his head for a moment, closing his eyes, and then shakes his head. Right. Well, I'm ready to go when you all are.
Right,
Just
yeah.
real quick. So while this is happening, he
Mhm.
was gonna be messing around with his corpse a little bit.
Oh
So
no!
she's gonna
Oh
take,
yes.
So she's gonna take two big chunks of his hair and then the strings from her old leather armor, and she's gonna braid them into the front of her hair because that's gonna be cute for Strahd to see, just like a constant reminder that he failed at keeping Rahadan alive. And then she's gonna loot his body and like see if there's anything of interest that he had in him or with him
Okay.
in that bag, maybe.
So in the bag, you find, upon his person, there's the scimitar, there is, I believe, studded leather armor, sized appropriately for him, as well as a blowgun, and... Actually, no, it's not a blowgun, it's just several smaller...
Tell me that
not-
you're gonna give Kiva a gun right now. Tell me it.
No,
Tell me
it's
it.
not a gun. It's not a gun. I'm sorry. I think in
Darts.
D&D terms, yeah, darts are not actually blow. They have to be blow darts. These are regular darts. So like a few inches long, smaller than a dagger. Carefully, each one wrapped in a small pouch that was strapped to the side of his leg. But as you pull them out, you see the blade of each one is glistening very faintly with a soft sheen of blackish liquid.
She's taking those.
Okay.
And whatever else he has, and she's putting it in her backpack.
Okay, I will double check the numbers on this later. I believe mechanically he's expected to carry 2d4 of these. So
Oh, I'm so excited.
I will say tentatively you can take 6 poisoned darts into your inventory. I will send you over the statistics later. And that seems to be it for what his body retains.
Oh, he doesn't have any like money or anything.
No. Money in
Does he have
Barovia.
anything? Does he
That's
have
cute.
anything like really identifiable that she could like wear so that Strahd knows, other than the hair?
His ears.
I
That's
was
a
going to
little
say it
too
if you
gross.
weren't.
He's got
Maybe,
this
you
very
know what?
distinctive, like white fur, like cloak covering his shoulders.
Oh my god, I'm gonna take that. Delicious.
All right, yeah.
She will look at Casimir though and sort of gesture, like she'll like hold up the head and hold up the sun sword to the ears. Like, do you wanna vibe?
His eyes immediately go wide. No, I don't think there's any need for that. Let's let the dead lie.
Okay, and then she'll drop the head down and spit on it, and take her stuff back to her backpack and her new cloak.
All right. Are we ready to get moving?
Let's get to moving.
All right. I'm going to stay with Lawson for now, or make sure that she's... Well, first, do you think you can walk?
What?
Lawson, do you think you, if we helped you along, do you think you could walk?
Yes, I suppose.
Okay. Then it's about to get ugly, I'm afraid. We gotta move. I am so sorry. I wish we could spend the next few days lying down, but regrettably it's Barovia. Here, take my arm. And if she allows him, he'll help pull her to her feet.
She reaches for his arm and then pulls back right at the last moment and then seems to consider it and then takes his arm and with a very sheepish look she kind of pats a bit of the places where she had gouged his skin earlier.
See the first thing resembling a smile from Erthrindir in a few hours. Please, that'll peel with a good night's rest and a bit of spit. I'm fine.
Don't spit on them. That's
It's an
unhygienic.
expression. I don't know why it's an expression. My old man never explained that one, but it sure is an expression. Let's go.
Lilson
All
pulls
right.
herself jerkily to her feet and looks faintly surprised, but ready to follow.
All right. Esmeralda moves toward the door and, after making sure no one objects, will slowly open it to peer outside.
Go for it, Esmeralda.
It looks like the coast is clear. The doors are also still closed. I don't think it's made its way in. Given that, how do we want to approach this? If the fight stays here, the skulls might come visit us. But if we get too close to it, whatever it did to Kiva, it might do to us.
Then we ready up. We get ready to burst inside. When we do, we ready up a firing line of everyone with any sort of ranged attack. We close the door behind us, have me, Kiva, and Esmeralda at the front, and start blasting.
Casimir nods. Right, do we want to give it something to focus its attention on? Something a bit hardier than any of us?
Do you have some in mind?
I said I got 2 more shots left for the day. If we want to reserve one for our friend in the statue,
Save
we
them.
could use one on this.
I'm willing to take a hit or two, and I'm sure Kiva and Ez are as well.
All right.
Kiva just
Unless-
grins wickedly.
Yep, Aerith returns it.
Do you think maybe, sometimes people can make illusions and things like that with their magics? You got anything like that? Maybe distract it.
Oh, yeah, I do. What kind of illusion you think?
I don't know, something they'd want to hit that isn't us.
I can probably arrange that. At minimum, it's no harm.
Yeah, I mean, it might buy some time at least.
All right. I'll try that, and then while it's distracted, we do what we planned.
Esmeralda looks around. Alright then, so just to confirm the plan, we make our way up north, we get ourselves into the corridor and barricade the door so the skulls don't follow us. We take out this golem, then we take however much longer we need to take up a position in the northern chambers, get ourselves onto the balcony. Casimir and Amity do their poof poof magic thing with big beasties, and then we kill the fuck out of whatever's in that big statue thing. And then we give the run out of the place. One hopes.
When
That's my
Esmeralda says poof poof magic thingy, Kiva looks like she's gonna fall over. Just like hits her right in the heart. That was so cute.
Yep. Poof poof magic thing. Kill the cute fox.
I personally don't find it cute anymore.
Wait, what? There's a fox?
I mean, it was represented by a fox in the dream.
Oh,
It is probably not an actual fox. That probably means they're like sly.
Oh, you mean like representative, like symbolism.
yeah, that makes sense. I don't know, darling. I think you do a very fine poof poof magic thing.
Amity gives him a death glare.
His grin only broadens. Forward!
Alright. With that said, Esmeralda will begin leading the way, creeping out of the hidden chamber and into the larger atrium toward the northern doors. Casimir will stick back a little bit.
And Aerith will help Lawson along as they. All right. What kind of illusion we think? Like a angry knight, some sort of monster. Suppose we could just be one of us. We already know it hates. Yeah, I can do a decent Kiva, I feel like. As y'all ready?
Should I join with a different minor illusion, or would that just make it less good?
Could you make the footsteps?
Probably. Oh, yes.
Sweet. Then that'll make it more convincing. Good thinking.
So you're
Alright.
gonna send a fake me down the hallway?
Oh, wait. Then we'll see the real you and we'll know the fake. Shoot.
Why don't I just go down the hallway?
Because we care about not getting you pulped.
But you're gonna be right behind me. I don't see any issue.
Well, maybe we just get close to it and then you cast the thing and, put it in like a faraway corner or whatever. And, then you, Amity, can maybe like make a big sound in that corner so that the golem thing just turns its whatever head it has towards that and it starts to go after that. And then when it does, we just zoom right past it.
I really just think I should just walk down the hallway and you guys be right behind me.
Earth gives Kiva a calculating look. Do you think you can rage again today?
I have feel like I've got one left. So
Yeah, I think we've all had good reason for that.
As well, if I could
she's
make
got
a suggestion.
She's got a sense.
Please, I think we're talking in
We
circles.
have a number of ranged combatants among us, and from what we have seen, the skulls, even if they do hear the battle, do not seem capable of opening the doors if we are holding them shut, so why not let it walk to us?
Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
we could just
Yeah,
wave it down here.
We'll go into the
You
next
mean-
corridor and hold the door
Yeah.
shut behind us with a skull.
Yeah, that's what I-
But if we set up a bit of a perimeter, the frontline fighters in front and the rest of us in back, we'll keep a bit of a distance for safety's sake, but...
Yeah,
we
that's what I was thinking.
So we don't have to run after it, we can just hold the line, and we can get in a few pot shots as it makes its way down. I can't imagine these things very smart, no? It's a statue.
Unless it's being
She was
controlled.
like twitching. She just wants to yell at it. Let her go yell at it.
Alright. Good plan, Az. Let's do that.
Alright, is Lillison coming?
Lillison is very slowly coming.
Alright. In that case, you watch as Esmeralda nods and casts the spell, and you watch as the 3 mirror images of herself appear around her form again. Alright then, whenever you're ready.
Kiva,
Let's go break some shit.
Kiva opens the door and just yells, "Oi, prick!" and hopefully the Amber Golem will hear it.
Alright, with that, as Kiva opens the door, I will need everyone to roll some initiative, please.
Yes, sir.
Woof. That's a 4.
13.
20.
Very nice.
17.
Alrighty then, so as Kiva steps in, you watch as the golem slowly turns to face you, but Amity, you are up first. What are you doing?
Oh, geez. Okay, well, according to our hold the line plot, Amity is just gonna take a fun step over here. Can Amity see the golem?
Yes. I would say... Actually... I would say you can hear it beginning to step toward you. I would say Kiva can just barely see it from her current vantage point. It is dark in here. Like, this corridor is entirely unlit. save for the sun sword, and
Except
even
for
the sun sword is not.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the sun sword only goes like 30 feet at its current extension. So
Okay. In that case, Amity will just pile in behind Kiva and ready a vicious mockery if anything gets close enough.
alrighty. With that said, that is the end of your turn. It is now Esmeralda's turn. She will step in as well, step to the front lines next to Kiva, and she will ready a... Let's say... a firebolt. Actually, no, we'll say a magic missile, if anything comes into her range. Alright, Casimir is up. He will step up next to Amity. And he will do much the same as Esmeralda. He's readying a magic missile. Erthundir, you're up.
Aerith will step up to the front lines with Kiva and Esmeralda, and can he see this thing now, or no? Okay.
You can just barely see what seems like a massive amber foot beginning to step in, but I don't think you have a clear shot just yet.
Okay, ready a firebolt.
Alright, Lily, you're up.
All right, Lillison is going to hobble over here. And cannot see anything, so... I guess
Would you
she will ready an acid splash for anything that she sees coming in view.
Okay. Would she like to move in with the others so she has the doors between her and the flame skulls?
No.
Okay. It is the golem's turn. As you hear the sound of amber and stone shuddering and cracking beneath its weight, it will slowly begin making its way toward you. And it comes into view. A lot of readied actions go off. I believe... Amity, what's the range of Vicious Mockery? Aerith, you can roll for
60 feet.
Firebolt. Alright, then I would say that certainly goes off.
Okay, they make a wisdom saving throw. While I
okay.
come up with a...
Alright, just gonna roll magic missile damage here.
And that's a 22 to hit from the firebolt for 10 damage.
Very nice.
It's made of amber, right? So, like, it looks like you've got a lot of ants buried inside you.
Alright, so that is a 12 on the wisdom save.
Okay, that will not save, and so it takes a 3 damage and disadvantage on its next attack roll next turn.
Alright, it is immune to psychic damage. It does not seem overly bothered, but nonetheless, I believe the effect still gives it disadvantage, even if it didn't take the damage.
It does.
Yeah.
Okay, Casimir deals 15 damage on his magic missile. Esmeralda deals 5 times 4, so 20. And what was Erthundir's damage?
10 from a well-placed firebolt.
Alright, you watch as these numerous attacks smash into it from either side. You watch as, actually, you realize now that there were several cracks already running down this body. Evidently, this thing's already been somewhat beaten up or injured before you even greeted it. It's looking a bit wounded, but it's going to keep stomping forward. That's 10 feet. It's going to make it use a stash. And I believe that's as far as it can get. It is right up in your faces, this massive amber statue just towering over the rest of you. And with that, it is Metrion's turn as he hears this thing stomping closer.
Against his better judgment, he's going to run towards the corridor.
Alrighty.
Let me just get... Jeez, now I can see it. What do I want to do?
Oh, sorry.
Please.
While you're doing that, Lilith, you also had a ready to action, right?
I do.
Alrighty.
Dex save, please.
Gladly. That is a 4.
All right, that is 6 acid damage.
And 6 acid damage it shall take. This thing is actually looking pretty severely damaged.
Well, if it's looking chunky, I'll use my action to go ahead and launch a couple of them, whatchamacallums, Eldritch Blasts.
Pew, pew, pew.
Pew, 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 pew.
All right. If you fire from your current position,
come
it'll
on.
have 3/4 cover.
No. I was planning on coming here. I just got startled by the vision. Yeah, that first one misses completely.
Okay.
Let's try for a second one. This is an 11 hit.
An 11 certainly does not hit, I'm afraid.
Perfect. All right. And then I'm going to, because we're trying to get out of the hallway, right? Or are we trying to kill this thing?
We're trying to kill it.
All right. Well, shoot. All right. This is probably stupid, but I'm just gonna do it. And then I'm gonna use my bonus action to dash.
All right, where are you dashing to?
Right here.
All right. It will happily take an attack of opportunity against you.
Oh, great. Yeah. Perfect. Awesome. Love that for me.
This might hurt.
Hope
That's
so.
a 28 to
Attacking
hit.
with disadvantage.
Oh, it is.
Advantage.
That is a 15 to hurt. 15 to hit.
That just hits, actually.
No, it doesn't. All right, hey,
Cutting
you
words.
miserable, ugly bastard, over here. You're not killing anyone else. And it is now a 14 to hit.
That still hits.
Fuck!
Yeah, this is gonna hurt. That's gonna be, unfortunately, and it was a good try, 22 points of bludgeoning damage.
I love that for me.
As it smashes into you like a freight train that you don't know exists, because freight trains have not been invented in Barovia yet.
Yet.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
stumbles back, feeling the donkey punch from this golem, but kind of stumbles to his, still on his feet.
All right. And is that the end of your turn?
It is.
All right, Kiva, you're up.
Let me, Adam. Okay. Bonus action rage. And then we're gonna just bang bang with the sun sword, 2 attacks.
All right. What's the
Reckless,
wild
of
surge?
course. Oh yeah, hold on, let me do that. An 8. Hold on. Let's see here. Ooh, nice. This is the mist one that I love. So basically, mist starts coming out of the ground again and surrounds her hand that is holding the sun sword, which means she can throw it and it comes right back to her at the end of her turn. It's the best. This one is my favorite. But she's not going to need to throw it, so she's going to make 2 attacks recklessly.
All right, go for it.
So that's a 27.
27 hits.
That's 10 radiant damage. And then the next one.
I think yours already hit, though. Or you already rolled yours. At least it's showing me that way.
Wow, it's showing up like 4 times.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't see those first 2. Can I just take the
Okay.
last 2? Okay, great. And so this next one doesn't have advantage, but it's an 18 to hit, if that hits.
An 18 does hit.
Great. So that's 20 points of radiant damage total.
All right, very nice. A lot of you go into town on this amber golem. You watch as it approaches you, Metreon ducking underneath it, weaving beyond its side, Kiva spinning, catching it on the back as it turns to smash into your friend, catching just off the side of its torso, searing the sun sword down, the radiance burning through the amber. You actually watch as it begins to melt and drip down onto the ground past its side as you leave this molten gouge of slag in its place. This thing is not looking very hale or hearty. Is that your turn?
Great. Turn it into soup.
All right, Amity, you're up. Top of the round.
Amity will use her most powerful single target damage spell, Vicious Mockery.
Woo!
Love that.
It's the bard life, baby.
Hell yeah. It needs to make a wisdom saving throw. I accidentally clicked it twice.
All right, that is a 20.
Cool. It's now Esmeralda's turn.
All right, Esmeralda will take her turn, pulling out her rapier and her hand axe, and will begin going to town on this thing. That is a 20 and a crit. Third attack is a 21 for a
Chop it
total
down.
of 23 plus 9, 32 points of damage. So as she whirls against it in a whirlwind, Casimir will take his turn. And he will fire off another... Actually, no, let's say he throws out a firebolt. It seems sensible. With half cover. Unfortunately missed, going wide as he kind of like loses his balance at the last second. As the thing lunges over Kiva's head toward him, past Esmeralda, he lets out a sudden stifled gasp and reels back, the firebolt going wide. Earthendeer, you're up.
Okay. So, it's used its reaction already, right?
It has, against Metreon.
Splendid. Seeing that Esmeralda and Kiva have got it, he's going to join Metreon back here, half out of, pragmatism and half as a shield as he launches another firebolt. You're not
All right.
touching them ever. He realizes. Sorry, again.
All good. What's the roll?
8!
Unfortunately, an 8 does not hit. It kind of whirls toward you, its massive amber hand coming through there and smacking the firebolt into the air, deflecting it into one of the alcoves in the walls. It does not connect.
Oh, I hate my life. That's my turn.
All right, Lillison, you're up, and I will say one thing you notice is you watch as the glow of green light coming from the southeastern shaft slowly begins growing a little bit brighter.
Lovely. Okay. Lilson very reluctantly steps through and starts pulling the doors closed.
All right.
Is that going to require an action, or?
I would say if you want to pull both of them closed, that'll be an action. Although, on his turn, I think it would have been reasonable for Casimir to pull his door closed. So, let's wreck on that a little bit and say you can pull the single door behind you if you'd like.
Okay, I will pull that single door closed and then
right.
kind of scoot as far into the corner as possible.
Understandable.
And then turning with a very calm sort of dead-eyed expression, Lillison stretches out both hands and fires another acid splash at the Amber Golem.
All right, that'll be another dex save. That is an 18.
That passes, so no damage.
You watch as its form actually seems to move with strange slickness. The blow of the magic shimmering across it, almost seeming to struggle to pierce through the amber shell that surrounds this statue's great form. It certainly seems like as though the spells in general, especially the cantrips, are not having quite as much of an effect as you might hope. All right, is that your turn?
Seeing that, Lillison, something changes about her posture, and there's a particular spark that leaps into her eyes. And she glances over. How does Metreon look?
I'm chunky yet funky. Probably about a half down, but yeah.
Does he still look feisty, or does he look like...
Oh yeah, he's offended by the fact that he just got punched in the back of the head.
Okay. Then she glances over, catches his eye. One of the corners of her mouth turns up briefly, and she just says, "Left shin." And that's
All
her
right.
turn.
And as you end your turn, it's going to wind up and take a big smack at Esmeralda, who dealt it a fuck ton of damage last turn.
Ah, damn. Kiva's got disadvantage. He's got advantage on all of her attacks. You should hit her.
That's true, but he's not the most intelligent thing. Let me just check something about our dear friend Mirror Image real quick. That didn't stop being a thing or anything. Alright, so it's going to first attack her once. Esmeralda rolls an 11, which does lead it to a duplicate. Its fist punches through the duplicate. I'm just going to make sure that it hits the AC of the duplicate. It actually misses. Swinging wide as it targets the duplicate, Esmeralda dancing out of the way, and the three shimmering versions dancing around the central one evade around it. It's going to grunt and try to take another swing toward her. She's going to see if she can redirect her to one of her duplicates. And she does, rolling an 8. It's going to take a swing to see if it hits the duplicate's AC. That is a 16, which will do it. Just barreling through and smashing through the illusionary silhouette, leaving Esmeralda quite unharmed. She has 2 duplicates remaining.
That's pretty great.
Iconic.
All right, that is the end of its turn. Metron's up.
Yeah, Metreon is gonna keep running. So he's gonna get a little bit further ahead, but then hearing Lillison and seeing her give him that devilish grin, he's gonna angrily whip out his crossbow and with it aimed right at that leg that Lillison called out, he's gonna attempt to fire.
All right, roll the hit.
Does a 19 hit?
A 19 will indeed hit.
So that's going to be 3 points of piercing plus some sneak attack. Oh, come on. Plus 1 more point of sneak attack, so 4 total.
All right, as it's facing down toward Esmeralda, bearing down upon her, barreling with its fists, you see a perfect shot right toward the center of what would be its shoulder blades as a living creature. You take aim, fire. The shot whistles true through the air. I have one quick question for you. Is your crossbow or its bolts magical?
No.
The arrow actually splinters as it hits this thing's back. It's a perfect shot, but this thing apparently is not going to be wounded by any mundane or mortal weapon.
Metron rolls his eyes and keeps running as his bonus action to dash.
All right, very good.
And that's my turn.
Same thing. Same bat time, same bat channel. So we're gonna
Love it.
roll recklessly. So that's a 17 and a 12. So the 17 hits, I think, right? I hope.
17 just barely hits.
Oh, I love that. 8. And it's actually I misread my thing. So instead of radiant damage, while Kiva is misty, it's force damage. I don't know if that changes anything.
Cool.
All good. Force damage is fine. Force damage is the
Okay,
best
cool.
type in the game. I love force damage.
I love force damage. So
All my
she's
homies love
going
force
to then-
damage.
Oh, my homies love it. And then she's going to attack again. Yeah. So let's do it not recklessly this time. Or did Zio say I could do it both? I don't remember. Anyway.
You're locked in once you do it.
Okay. 16.
Just barely misses, I'm afraid.
Okay. Well, fuck. And I don't. Okay. Yeah. Never mind. Anyway, that's it. Just gonna stand there.
All right.
Wait.
Very good.
Serena, did you attack? You attacked recklessly on the first attack, right?
Yeah.
Then you have to attack recklessly on the second.
Amazing. Okay, that's a 25.
That will hit.
I love that for me. So that's another 8 radiant damage. And she's going to expend her last spell slot and do a little divine smiting.
All right. That's going to be another 2d8 radiant coming up, I guess.
Another 8. So 24 damage altogether. Because apparently I'm only rolling in multiples of 8 tonight.
Hey, I dig it. You slam the sun sword into the side, just cutting across its chest right toward one of the hips. It blazes outward in a nova of white light. It falters for a moment. Amity, you see it stumble. What are you doing?
Amity is casting her most powerful single target damage spell. Hey, bird brain. Sorry, I didn't even do the accent right, but it has to make a wisdom saving throw. This is Vicious Mockery.
All right, we love Vicious Mockery.
Yeah.
That is another nat 20.
Hell yes. Amity is just sort of T-posing in the corner. It's Esmeralda's turn.
You can actually see it as Amity flings the magic toward it. There's this almost shimmering nimbus, this faint glowing aura of amber light that surrounds it. Each of these magical blows almost sliding off of that, not actually making contact with the skin, so to speak, but this protective aura that deflects this incoming blow. That is the end of your turn, I'm afraid. Esmeralda is up, and she's going to quite happily attack 3 times.
See, that would be a nice like foreshadow to the Heart of Sorrow if we didn't already know that the Heart of Sorrow existed.
Oh, that's fair. Unfortunately, this is just magic resistance. Alright, so that's a 21 to hit, a 27 to hit, and a 23 to hit, for a total of 24 points of damage. You watch as Esmeralda steps forward, taking advantage as Kiva brings it down, as the sunsword actually cuts through half of the leg. This thing stumbles, going down to the ground. Its gaze snapped toward Amity. For a moment, it's distracted, its gaze locked into the corner, its weight balancing on half of what its limb support should be. And at that moment, Esmeralda whirls forward, slashing across it with the rapier, cutting twice across it, and then slamming the hand axe right into the center of its chest. You hear the sound of amber cracking, then splintering into shards, and then the chest crumbles to pieces, and the golem collapses to the ground, its torso splintering into bits.
I'm
And
just
that is
saying
where we
it's
will end
pretty
it for
gay that
tonight.
they did the same exact amount of damage.
It's pretty cool.
You hear Metron from the distance. Did we get it?
Oh, we'll find out next time
No.
who answers Metreon.
The Amber Golem does.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah,
Well, this was the
I,
episode of some Whiplash.
So
I
is this
gotta-
where we get our level up?
I got a
Did we
whole
do
1
it?
hour to rest before, Are we doing Plan Bramblebees next time? Please let us do Plan Bramblebees next time.
I
I'm
am
pretty
insisting on
sure
playing
that's the plan. Yeah, I
Brumbeast.
feel like
Yeah.
that's the only
Def-
thing left.
Fun fact, if you polymorph Lillison, she does not have her death sickness, because she doesn't use your normal stat block.
I
That's
was
nice.
about that.
Yes! We're gonna have 2 Bramblebeast buddies.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Bramblebees friends.
That'd be great.
Metreon gets closure. Lillison gets to not be dying slowly still, and it'll be great,
We can just in unison time it so that we each smash a fist through one of the eye holes of the statue.
Oh my god, that's
I like
so
it.
cute.
I suddenly feel bad for Neferon.
You shouldn't.
No, he deserves it.
Look, we've seen how valuable foxes are today. It's okay.
And with that,
With that, well, thank you as always to everyone for joining us today. We love you, we appreciate you, and we will all see you back in the mists next week. Until then, always lay a fine trail to the afterlife, and do your best to find your way back. And take care.